of the EMSO Summer Series. That's right, we've had 3 action-packed weekends already. We're now working our way into the final 3 races, and well, now we're in the second part of the very short season that we've had. We've had some fantastic racing along the way, and you can expect even more fantastic racing here this weekend. If you're joining us for the first time, you'll have the race starting in a few minutes. We're just doing a little bit of practice and warm-ups here for some of the early bird drivers that have already joined the session. And I think the main thing that we'll be waiting for will be for the lobby to fill in. So this weekend we've got a total of, I think it's around 32 drivers. I saw 2 sets of 11s and a set of 10, which would indeed make 32 drivers. I think it's probably one of the biggest grids that we've had so far. But how we'll do it is we're not going to throw them all into one race. We're going to throw them into 2 and even 3 different races, actually, because we have that many people. We'll have 3 qualifying or heat races, as we'll call them, and then those will go, the top 8 of each of those will go up into 2 sets of qualifying or semi-finals, semi-finals is the correct word, you could call semi-finals, and then the winners of those semi-finals, again the top 8, will be put into a grand finale that's scheduled to take place later on this evening. So welcome to the EMSO Summer Series Round 4 live stream here on YouTube or wherever you're watching. Thank you so much for joining us. As you see on screen right now, you've got Sean Simpson here, Radical Racer here in the United Arab Emirates, getting ready for a new season that awaits him in a few weeks' time. Maybe possibly a few months' time. We'll hopefully get the season underway in due time. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Don't worry, we don't bite here. We're more than happy to answer some questions, and of course in the chat as well we have some of the officials, so if I can't answer any of your questions, the officials will no doubt be able to assist you in that way. So we're about we'll give or take 6 to 7 minutes from starting. We're just waiting for the first lobby to fill up here for the first round of what we can say is quarter-final heat races here. As we said before, a total of 32 drivers will take place in round 4 of the EMSO championship here of round 4. This man here is one to watch, ATCUAE 90. He debuted in I think it was weekend number 2, race weekend 2. That was about a month or so ago. God, time has really flown by. We've had some fantastic racing, and be prepared for much more on the way, and he was certainly a driver in at least his qualifying heats, and the quarter-final and the semi-final. He was one of the men to watch, and I think he finished on the podium in the final round of the 3rd round of the championship. What was that, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? I can't remember. Gosh, the time is flying by so fast here, and it's great to have more online racing here as part of the EMSO Summer Series. As I said, ATCUAE 90 is one of the men to beat, and the man to beat really is Romaldo Labori. Now, if you're new to this series and you haven't watched the previous round, you can check out all the previous races, bar race 2, but you can see race 1, or better yet, the full weekend of race 1, separated in a few videos, and race weekend 3 in one long stream, and you can see the man to beat in all those races that were broadcasted live was Romaldo Labori. I know he won round 1, he won round 2, I think indeed he won round 3 as well, and he has a very, very large X on his back, the back bumper of his car, and as I said, he is the man to beat here in the EMSO Summer Series. If you'd like to learn more about the championship, you can head on over to our social channels and of course the EMSO website. That's emso.ae. For our social channels, it's of course EMSO as well. You can check out the next dates for the rounds. If you didn't make it into this round, you can of course head on over to the website or just send us a message and we'll try and get you fast-tracked into round 5. All you need though is a PlayStation ID. You need a valid I think you need an Emirates ID, because we're only accepting racers who are based in the United Arab Emirates, and just send over that information and we'll get you a digital race license, and we could see you here in the stream next round to take place on the 21st of August 2020. If I'm not mistaken, the last round will take place sometime in September. Now let me just get the dates for you then. I think it's the 5th of December that will be our final rounds. do bear with me because I'm pretty sure that date is actually wrong, but I will check for you now. Oh, I was one day off. It's the 4th of September will be the final round here as part of the EMSO Summer Series. Once again, thank you so much for joining us for this 4th round out of 6 of the EMSO Summer Series. It's been quite a series so far. Some very competitive races that's happened over a couple of weeks, 2 months I think it is, and we continue now with round 4. And as we said, if you've just joined us, we're just preparing ourselves now for the first lobby of drivers to get our first qualifying / heat race underway. And how it will work is we'll have a 5-minute qualifying session which will set the field for the heat race, and that will determine the order of which the drivers start their heat race. Those who are in the top 8 at the checkered flag of the heat race will go into a small draw, and they'll be thrown into either semi-final 1 or semi-final 2. The same will happen in heat race 2 and heat race 3. We'll take the top 8, so that's 24 drivers that will jumble up, and then we'll throw them into two separate heats, excuse me, not 3, 2 separate heats of 12 drivers apiece, and then the top, there's a top 6, I think it's the top 6 that go through, or better yet, maybe, hopefully it is the top 8 that will go through. We will take them and put them in one final race at the end of the weekend here. And that final race will determine this week's winner. During the heat races for quarterfinals and semi-finals, there is no points on offer, so unfortunately even if you win the heat races, you will not receive any points. They don't go towards the championship. It's just a ticket to progress into the next rounds, to go into the quarterfinals, to the semi-finals, and of course the finals. So basically bragging rights is where you want to be, is what you'll get from finishing at the sharp end of the field. We have now a total of 7 drivers on track. Now I can run you through all 7 if they are on track. There's the man that's in 7th place, racing in the Lexus RCF, and I have a feeling I know why he's racing a Lexus. There is the man that's at the moment in 6th position, but again these are provisional timings for at the moment in the BMW M6. Then we have Sean Simpson, as we said before, radical racer here in the Beetle. Now this was a car to beat, and it has been a very prominent figure in the series so far. A lot of drivers have chosen to go with the Beetle, an unlikely choice you would have thought on paper, but when it comes down to it, the Beetle is very, very good at what it needs to do. It really throws the power down, although it doesn't have the straight line speed as some of the other cars do, but when it comes to the corners, the Beetle is very, very fast. Then we have Silver 1234. He's won a race not too long ago, but he's looking to get some ground here, not been scoring as many points as he'd like to in the finals. And then we have plenty of cars here from the GT spec side of things, or both real life cars that you've seen racing around the world, to, as we said, the Beetle Group 3 car, which is a beautiful concept, but unfortunately we'll never see it. And then of course we have another Beetle out in front at the moment provisionally. So thank you so much for joining us. If you've just tuned in, this is of course round 4 of the EMSO Summer Series here. If you want to watch rounds 1 and 3, you can check out the videos right here on our YouTube channel. Round 2, unfortunately, there were a few timing issues from my side. I got invited to do something else, unfortunately, and the times just clashed too much, and I wasn't available. But I'm here now, and I will be here for the next 3 rounds, and I'm very excited to see what round 3 has to offer here. Sorry, round 4. God, round 3 was a couple of weeks ago. I'm very excited to see what round 4 has to offer. Will we see a new winner, a new race winner? I think we had in round 3, but don't quote me on that. I think it was Romaldo Labori who pretty much clean sweeped so far. Actually, no, he didn't. He came in 2nd place. I can't actually remember who it was that won the race. I'm going to have to go back through my notes and find that out for you. But we're about to get underway shortly for round 4. This will be the first of the qualifying heat races, and we'll do qualifying first, as we said, a 5-minute affair to set the field for our quarter-final race here. As always, a huge shout out to our partners and sponsors, AUH Motorsport, Yas Marina Circuit, and of course the Dubai Autodrome, who are providing us with some fantastic prizes to give away to our top 3 after round 6, and they include track days, they include on-track sessions as well, including, if I'm not mistaken, a single-seater experience. There's a Renault Cup car test session, 30 minutes. There's a race license assessment, instructed track sessions at Yas Marina, a round of karting at Yas Marina as well, Formula DXB experience, and a Bath 595 experience as well. And I can tell you, out of all of those, I've actually done the 595 myself, which is an experience. If you haven't done it before, you need to go try it. It's an incredible experience, and the instructors, well, they'll show you a thing or two of how to do it properly. And I thought it was, being kind of nice about it and making sure I'm not throwing the car and attempting to tip it over, but yeah, the instructors will show you how to do it properly. So we're underway now for the qualifying for quarterfinal number 1. So we have, it looks like we have a total of 7 drivers, and I think yes, we do. So unfortunately we've lost already 4 drivers in the first qualifying or heat race here, and it's good news for our 7 drivers, because it looks to be each one will go through into the semi-final. They'll be thrown into that little draw, and they'll be going into the semi-final. So not much to play for here, but basically there is, actually, because there's bragging rights. That's what is on offer right now. As you can see, Al-Khawaisi all over the back of Tawara Allah, and the Beetle is one to watch, and Al-Khawaisi 90 is one to watch as well. But with 4 minutes to go, there is plenty of time for this qualifying session here. So just a quick rundown of what we have available. Let's I hope your wheel works the majority of the races as well, Brett, because it was a real shame to lose you in the towards the end of the finals there. And of course, if you haven't stayed up to date with the championship, we've had some issues, including steering wheels unhinging themselves, steering wheels breaking, internet connections failing. It's been a roller coaster for these past couple of events, but nonetheless, we hope, Brett, that your wheel will work for the full duration of this weekend's event. We look forward to seeing you. I think you'll be in the second session. Indeed you will. We'll see you alongside some of the other prolific drivers as well. And it looks like Ramaldo Labori, we won't see him until Group 3, which is scheduled to take place at about 5 p.m. So before we get started with the race, we've got 3 minutes to go before the field is set. I want to tell you what's going on here. So we're racing, of course, in Gran Turismo Sport on the PS4. We're using the Kyoto Driving Park in Japan, and for the quarterfinal races we'll have just 5 laps during the session. In the semi-final we'll have 7, and in the final we'll have a mammoth 12 laps, and that's really when you want to have the steering wheel working efficiently and the way it should be. You want your internet connection as well to be on par. Ahmed JDM, great to see you as well. I hope you'll be using the Jag in round 1 and then the Subaru in round 2, or maybe you're going to throw us a different car this time round. Let's wait and see what Ahmed JDM has to offer. You can see Ahmed in action. I think, is he in this session? No, he's not. He's actually in session 2, hence why he's in the comment section at the moment. Feel free to ask any questions if you have. If you want to talk to some of the racers, the majority of them are probably in the chat anyway. If they're not in the sessions right now, they're more than happy to answer some questions. I will answer as best I can, but they'll probably give you better insight on the racing on the track here, the Kyoto Driving Park. As for assists, it looks like we've got quite a few of them on. We've got tyre wears 2 times, so tyre degradation is going to be a factor in this. And I know the Beetle doesn't use up the tyres as much as, say, other cars do, but it's still quite a factor in the Beetle. That might be a reason as to why the Beetle is so prominent. The heavier set cars will of course chew up their tyres a bit more, but the drivers who've done this many times, they will know how to conserve the tyres. So looks like Ahmed will be using the FT1 prototype, or the Group 3 car. That is what the Toyota Supra the current generation is based off of, and the Toyota Supra we should have got, but that's a story for a different day. And Ahmed, great to see that you've been practicing. I know a few drivers have been practicing today as well. Early on, they've been practicing for, I think, all day actually. I saw a number of them earlier online. As what we've got on track at the moment. So the man here looking at ATCUAE 90 is the man that's out front, and he has provisional pole for the time being. Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 runs in second place. So it looks like we'll have an all Beetle front row for the time being. Then it is that looks like a GTR. Yes, it is. That's the Nissan GTR that arrived in third at the moment, if things stay the way they are. Then we'll have the M6 BMW that's just tucked in behind the man that's in third place. In fifth, we'll have another Beetle, so that's the third of them. Then we have the fourth Beetle as well, so another Beetle row lockout there. That will be the third row of the grid, and then rounding out the field will be the Lexus RCF of Tuana Ala. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but yeah, I'm not going to say anything just in case it's a different man. As the session comes to an end now, and it looks like we have no change for the positions at the moment. Everyone looks to be in the same position. Yes, they do. Is there a change on the second row of the grid? No, it's not. They stay the same for the time being, and I think they've concluded that this is just the wind down now. I think we're just waiting for the RCF to work its way across the line, and as soon as it does, we'll be moving into heat race, quarterfinal number 1 of round 4 of the EMSO Champion Summer Series here. And across line it goes the Lexus. Now I might be wrong about that, because this might be a time lap for him, but I don't think he's got enough time to work his way around. I think, yes, we did have at least 1 or 2 drivers make their way across the line just before the timer ticked down, so they will at least get somewhat of a semi-lap in. Now, one of those drivers could potentially be ATCUAE. No, it's not. He's going around slowly. Actually, all the drivers are going around quite slowly. I think that's a wrap, so I think we just have to wait for the timer actually to tick down before we move into quarterfinal number 4. Quarterfinal number 4, quarterfinal number 1. I'm getting ahead of myself already, and there's only 3 quarterfinals. But getting closer and closer now to the start of the first race. The qualifying order is an all-Beetle front row with ATCUAE 90 starting alongside Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have the Nissan GTR with a BMW M6 alongside for company. Then we have... is that a bit of Trubisky? No, we haven't. And then it'll be another Beetle row lockout with 2 Beetles starting on the third row of the grid, and at the back of the field we have the RCF, the Lexus at the back of the field. The good news is that all drivers from this race will go into the semi-final, so this is all about bragging rights, and well, unfortunately where they finish on track does really correlate to where they'll be in the semi-final. They will just be thrown into the mix, and sort of their names will be jumbled around and then thrown into the semi-final, which is scheduled to take place at about 5:30. So we're about to get underway now for the first race, the quarterfinal race 1, and here we go. All Beetle front row, and then we have a all Beetle third row, and then behind them is the Nissan GTR and the BMW M6 as we slowly roll our way towards the green flag. And we're underway now for the first time here of round 4 of the MSO Summer Series. We'll follow the leaders as they work their way through the final corner. Into the left hander goes ATCUAE 90, and it looks like there's enough gap between everyone. Does anyone make a bold move going through? They're not quite. Let's get to the mid-pack. Do we have some action further down the field? Not quite. Single file through the first couple of corners. Looks like the Lexus is trying to sneak up on the inside of SRS Simmer, but not close enough at the moment. Let's go back up to the sharp end of the field here in front of ATCUAE 90 as he puts a gap between himself and Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll have to wait and see what the timing is when they come across the line, what the gap is. We can see it live now on the left-hand side of your screen. It's about 0.5 of a second. It is growing with the corners as well. He's just putting fractions of a second with himself, and Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 is ATCUAE 90. It's a little bit more congested further down the field, and it looks like Sean Simpson is applying the pressure here to one of his fellow Beta drivers, Abdul Ghaffar, just in front of him at the moment as they race their way up the hill. Sean Simpson looking for a way on the inside, but he's not quite enough. He's not quite close enough to make a move, but Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 is, as he's all over the back of ATCUAE 90 through the left-hander there. But ATCUAE is determined to stay out in front as he works his way now through the third part, or the third part of the track yet. The third segment looks like that we've lost the Lexus quite significantly, but no matter, he will still be in the semi-final. This of course will just be for bragging rights here, and it's getting now quite congested at the front row of the grid as Sean Simpson is still over the back as well. If we look further down behind Abdul Ghaffar, the two Beetles here battling now into and across the line. They go now into the left-hander. Can Sean Simpson sneak on the inside? Brakes as late as possible, but oh, so close they couldn't quite make it through without punting him off. But they're almost side by side going through the left-hander, and again on the exit they're side by side. Who will it be through the corner first? They bump and lean on each other through the right-hander. So with Abdul Ghaffar, we don't want to be there. We want to be here with Sean Simpson and Abdul Ghaffar as they battle it out here for 5th place. And this is of course the not even for the sharp end of the field. This is what the Summer Series has been all about. Fantastic racing here in Gran Turismo, as Sean takes a much closer line there through the corner, allows him to get the jump on Abdul Ghaffar. He's moving to the right side, but that's not where he wants to be, because the corner here is a left-hander, so Sean will be hung out to dry as Abdul Ghaffar is just reminding Sean that he is there, and it is my 5th position, not yours at the moment, as Sean again is going to try and sneak up on the inside, but again not where he wants to be for the corner. He wants to be a little bit closer here. Now let's just pan over to, not to 1LR, sorry, excuse me. We want to look there, and he just missed the change of position, but Abdul Ghaffar is battling back and he wants to finish in 5th position. He's got 3 laps to do so and trying to get back past Sean Simpson, but Sean is already putting a gap between himself and Abdul Ghaffar as they race their way through the final corner now. Let's go back up front. It looks like Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 has been bested into 2nd place by the Nissan GTR by Hikers Valley. Is that, yes it is. Ooh, squinting here to get my glasses for round 2, but the gap is 1 second between Al-Khabaisi 90 and the Nissan GTR as the Beetle pushes the GTR through the corner. And again, the Beetle, they're very quick through the corners, but just doesn't have the straight line speed compared to the rest of the car series. You can see the GTR now starts to put a slight gap in between himself and the Beetle, but Silver is closing in here. We're watching now the battle for 2nd place, and while these two are squabbling, it's giving the M6 BMW a chance to reel them in as well. Although despite about 0.5 of a second back, he is 2.1 seconds up the road from the Beetle of SRS Simo, Sean Simpson. Let's go back to the battle for 2nd place here with Hikers Valley and Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 as they snake their way through now, and here comes the BMW M6. You can just see it, you can just spot it in the background there just before the camera ticks over. It looks like the GTR is actually reading in the leading Beetle as well as we work our way now into Sector 3 across the timing beacon now. And let's have a quick look at how much faster the GTR is around. 133.427, excuse me, compared to a fast lap time last time over 134.943, excuse me, between the two of them as the Beetle really closes in now through the corner. The Beetle is just a monster through those corners there. The grip it finds is phenomenal as we're across the line now to complete lap number 3. We've got 2 laps to go. What can Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 do now? Can he sneak up on the inside? Not this time round, going through the first corner. He's going to have to try around the outside, but that's not going to work even in the Beetle, that's for sure, as the GTR accelerates and powers his way out of the corner. Silver still applying the pressure. His race leader Al-Khabaisi 90 is loving what he's seeing in the back mirror here, because with these two squabbling and these two falling over each other, he's escaping up the road and he's about almost a second now ahead of the two behind him. Then it is a gap of just 0.2 of a second separating these two here. Then it's a little bit further back now, and it looks like the BMW M6 is falling back of Ayed Zab, as it looks like taking it a little bit easy here. And maybe he's taking care of his tyres, because he is losing a little bit of time here unless he's going to try something desperate. Now is what's happened here to Al-Khabaisi 90, because he's lost significant ground, but there's a penalty flashing over the head of Hikers Valley. Has he tried to do something cheeky somewhere? I think he may have done, as the entire the trio up front have really boxed themselves in, and now the BMW M6 is caught up pretty much immediately there, and it takes a little bit too much of the curbing here, and we've got a fantastic battle here for first place. Essentially, it is three cars battling for the lead of the race, but with the Nissan GTR in front, it's not going to be easy for any of the drivers. As Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 now gets ahead of ATCUAE, and it's a drag race down the line to start the final lap. Silver's ahead just fractionally there. I think there's about a front bumper separating the two at the moment into the first corner, and Silver just cut straight across ATCUAE there to shut the door, and immediately what happened to the GTR though? The GTR's just disappeared off the screen. What's happened to... Oh, he's dropped back. He must have served the penalty. No, because the penalty's still looming over his head. And what a battle we have now. I didn't think the M6 would be this far up the road now, but a fantastic fight. We're going three wide now, almost down towards and into the right-hander, and ATCUAE 90 is getting completely robbed here. As his tyres falling off already. I don't think so. It's a bit early for those Beetles to have their tyres falling off, as the M6 uses a bit too much of the grass than it should be. Gets off into the slippery stuff here, and what a battle this is in just the first race of the weekend. Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 leads from ATCUAE 90. Then it's the BMW M6 of Iyad Zab. As we work our way now into the left-hander, we'll be into Sector 3, and there's only a handful of corners left for ATCUAE 90 to retake the lead from Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. But what can the BMW M6 do about it? Because if these two trip over, Iyad will be the man out in front, and he will walk away with a win here in the first quarter-final race. As Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 making that Beetle incredibly wide here, as ATCUAE is all over the back of him. He dives to the inside, and is this the move? No, he's gone out wide. Can he make it? No, he can't get the switch back, and that's it. Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 will take the win here. Will take the first win of the weekend across the line. What could have been for ATCUAE? So can he get the drag? No, he can't. Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 wins it from ATCUAE 90. Iyad Zab comes in third place. Abdul Ghaffar is fourth. Sean Simpson is fifth at the line, and Haikes Vafi, the Nissan GTR, tumbling down the order, and I think that's also due to a penalty as well, is across the line. And then it is Tawan Allah in the Lexus RCF there through the final corners there, and he won't get to finish the race, but it looks like he's having a connection issue though. If I'm honest, that car doesn't look like it's running on a decent enough internet connection, so we need to get that fixed for race 2. But there is the confirmation of our race winner. Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 is the man to beat, and was the man to beat there at the end. Ooh, Supercar Baldi, that's an interesting question, because you may possibly rewrite, because you shouldn't fail that much going into the final corner. He wasn't pushed off either. It just seems that he had an issue that just didn't want to work, unfortunately. But that wraps up the quarterfinal race 1. Stay with us here as we'll keep the live stream going throughout the event, and we'll hop now into the second room of Group 2, and it looks like we have a lot of drivers in this second race. Come on, Internet, play nice. Let's go into the race here. By the way, this is the only car that I actually have in Gran Turismo Sport. I've never played the game. I'm actually an Xbox gamer through and through. Not the biggest fan of PlayStation, but I do own a copy of Gran Turismo Sport, because it is, in all fairness, it is a great game. I'm just very bad at it, so that's why. Sandbagging? I don't know. He did throw it into the corners a few times, especially towards the end there, and he got very, very loose, Mega Shark. But I guess the only person who's going to answer that will be the man himself, and let's hope that ATCUAE 90 joins the session. So it looks like we have a total of 6 drivers looking at the provisional entry list at the moment for the lobby, and indeed we do. There's Bratman89 in one of, I presume, 2 FT1s from Toyota, as we'll flick through. There is Maritza in the Beetle. That's Alexandros Animas behind the wheel at the moment. Races the TCR Cupra here in the United Arab Emirates as part of the NGK UAE Pro Car Championship. Looking to get underway shortly for that. Is a multiple-time Clio champion here in the United Arab Emirates. He's done endurance races. He's a kart racer here, and he's won many races and championships and that as well. He's certainly one to watch here in the second heat race of the day. Here is PDD 655 therefore another driver to watch out here. He's silent but deadly. He usually pounces towards the end and is sort of someone that you don't think is going to do anything. He races nice and cleanly, and you think, oh well, you know, he's a pushover. No, he's not. He will be the one to attack you immediately if he senses an opportunity. And then we go back to, not sure who that is because we can't see their name. There's Ahmed JDM. There's the second of the two FT1 Toyotas, as he promised in the group chat that he'll be using it. We've seen him race a Jag, we've seen him race a Subaru. I think he's probably raced everything so far in the championship over the past 4 race weekends, and now he's in the Toyota. Wonder what will come up next. I wonder what else Gran Turismo has to offer in Group 3. So of course, thank you for joining us here for what is round 2, or the second of the quarterfinals here. Quarterfinal 1, an absolute incredible race, especially in the last lap there. We had a 4-way battle at one point for the race victory, and it came down to the wire at the very, very last corner. What a race it was. If you didn't watch it, I don't want to ruin it just yet, because you can skip back through if you're watching this on the replay. If you're not watching on the replay, congratulations to Silver1234. That was a well-deserved victory as well. And it looks like in this second qualifying race, quarterfinal race even, we've got an Audi R8 here of Hamid UAE AD. Now, do we have more drivers that we can take a look at? Yes, we do. Sigon16 is here in his black and yellow Porsche. And then we have Al-Mahari22, another Porsche driver. Looks like this is a very Porsche-heavy race here. The last one was Beetle-heavy. This one is Porsche-heavy. There is PDD654. Again, a man to watch. Moretza in the Beetle. Then we have Hamid UAE AD in the Audi R8. There's Bratman89 in one of 2 Toyotas. There's the second of the Toyotas with Ahmed JDM behind the wheel as he works his way through the chicane. Then we've got the Porsche of Sigon16, and then Al-Mahari22 in another Porsche. I think we're waiting for a few more drivers to join the session. We should have 11 drivers. We can tell you we're missing at least 4, but we are slightly ahead of schedule, which is always great to have because we're supposed to start at 4:30, but we are currently 8 minutes ahead of time, which is great news because last time out we had a few issues when it came to timing. We had a few issues when it came to connecting to the stream as well, but great to see that I'm going to touch some wood now because I'm probably going to say something too soon here. Where's some wood? I don't have wooden furniture, unfortunately. Damn. Anyway, this is the second race of the weekend of the EMSO Summer Series Round 4 here as part of a online championship for drivers based in the United Arab Emirates. If you are interested in entering the series and you want to take part in the next round, you can do so. All you have to do is head on over to the EMSO website or to get in contact with us on social media, and we can help you on your way to be entered into round 5. Now, do note that entries are not open at the moment. I think they start opening from tomorrow, so it's best probably to check then, but that shouldn't stop you from checking out our social media channels because there's lots of great stuff on there. You can stay up to date with what the EMSO are up to, what racing's coming up here in the United Arab Emirates, and great content, of course, as well. Going back to entries, you have 2 weeks to enter the championship, and I think it's the night before, or is it the day before? I think possibly actually even 2 days before. Actually, it might even be the Wednesday before. You have to fill in all the information, and that way you jot it down to enter round 5. Now, as we said, round 5 is scheduled to take place on the 21st of August. That is in exactly 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that we will have round 6. So it looks like we'll have a break next weekend, back to racing, a break, and then we're back to racing for the 6th and final time. And before we do that, as always, a huge shout out to our committed partners, the Yas Marina Circuit, Dubai Aerodrome, and of course AUH Motorsport, who are giving our top 3 some fantastic prizes. And by top 3, I don't mean the top 3 in the quarterfinal, semi-final or final. I mean the top 3 overall, and those include a race license assessment from the Dubai Aerodrome, a 30-minute test session in a Rayo Clio Cup car from AUH Motorsport, an instructor track session, round of karting at Yas Marina, Formula DXB experience, and of course the 595 experience. That's the Abarth 595 experience. And if you haven't done it already and you're listening right now and you want to try something that will make you change your pants from one colour to the other, you want to try the Abarth 595 experience at the Dubai Autodrome. It is a phenomenal experience. The car may look small, but the Abarth is no car to be taken lightly. That thing is a complete animal on track. It is an incredible experience, and I urge everyone who's listening, if you haven't tried it, go and do it for yourself. It's an amazing experience. If you're just joining us, welcome to the EMSO Summer Series Round 4. This is qualifying, sorry, I keep saying that, it's quarter-final race 2 of 3. We're just waiting for the final few drivers to jump into the session. Looks like we do have at least one other driver in the session. Quite can't catch what it is. Well, AX30ZA is here, so that's good news. Actually, so that's Maritza Racing's Beetle, if I'm not mistaken, judging by the rear end. So we're up now to 8 drivers, and it looks like we've got an AMG GT as well. A very feisty looking car there with a black Falcon livery, and I can see, if I'm looking at the back bumper of the car, let's see if we can get a closer look at that. Nope, that's the spoiler, but can you just make it out there? No, you can't. You can just see a Fly Dubai logo on it, actually. We can't quite get a view. Can we get it there? There you go. You can just see the blue and pink Dubai logo on the back of the AMG GT3 car there, and what a beautiful logo that is there on the back of the car. Let's hope the car stays nice and clean throughout the race. As you're joining us now with about 4 minutes to go before qualifying. The qualifying race is set to start here as part of round 4 of the EMSO Summer Series. This, of course, will be quarterfinal race 4. No, not 4. It's qualifying race 2. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's just that. It's just, last race was incredible. If you didn't watch it, please go back through the stream and watch it. It was a phenomenal last 3 laps. Incredible. And it's not even the final race either. That was just for bragging rights. Imagine what the final race is going to be like. I am super stoked to see what it is like. I think we're waiting on a few more drivers here. Let's see who we got here. We've still got a total of 8 drivers, so we're missing 3. I think one's just joined the session. I think another may have connection issues. That might be why, and of course this has been an issue in the past, that we've had connection issues for the drivers. I can tell you right now, hang on a sec, where is, there you go. Oh, there we go. That's what happened. Thank you, Supercar Baldi, for clarifying. Hikers Vafi had a controller disconnection at the end. Guys, always make sure your controllers are charged. I know there's no battery pack on these PlayStation controllers, so always make sure that they are charged fully. Supercar Baldi, thank you so much for the inside information. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have that kind of stuff on. So, let's see if we have a total of just 8 drivers, and it looks like the qualifying session is underway. I don't know how many drivers. I think we have 8, so that means, again, all 8 drivers are going to go through and into the final race. Have we got 8? Yes, indeed we do. We have exactly 8 drivers. So all drivers here can look forward to being in the mid-straw to go into the semi-final. Now it's just to see who will be on the front row of the grid, and I've lost all data on the screen. There we go, I've got it all back now, as they're out now for the qualifying here. Another 5-minute session here to set the field for quarterfinal race number 2. It won't be an all Beetle lockout on the front of the grid, because I think we only have one Beetle in the race here for quarterfinal race 2. That, of course, is the Maritza Racing Beetle there that's under pressure from PDD 654. Now, where is he? There he is. There it is. He's out wide on the outskirts of the Audi R8, as we will continue on here for the qualifying session. I'll be back momentarily. Just do bear with me. The stream will continue to stay live, but I will be back shortly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here for the quarterfinal race 2 here as part of the EMSO Summer Series. We've had one race already, which was absolutely incredible, especially on the very last lap of the race. It was a four-way battle for the race victory, and now we're getting ready to start race 2, and of course now we're watching the qualifying about halfway through the session, or just about to approach halfway. That will give us enough time, I think, just for only 2 laps of timing. So yeah, this is going to be a very, very tight track to get a good lap time in here. You want a lot of clean air in front of you, and the man that has the most amount of clean air is this man here, is AX30ZA, or Brett Noble, who was in the chat before, and if you picked it up, he had an issue in the previous round where his controller just disconnected, the wheel just stopped working, which has been an issue for drivers, and it's great to see that he's out there at the moment, presumably without issue, and hopefully he will walk away with a win and be into the final, as all the drivers in the session will go through into the semi-final, because it looks like we have exactly 8 drivers. If I press number 9, nothing happens. I press 8, we get Bratman89. So yes, all drivers from the session will go into the semi-final, or at least into the draw of the semi-final. So a little bit of clarification though for how the final will work is, despite us having, I think, 24 odd drivers, if I'm not mistaken, look at this, yeah, 24 drivers, we will take only 12 of them. So we'll take 6 from each, not 8 from each, and then we'll have a 12-man showdown of 12 laps of racing here, so basically a lap per driver, so each one will have their own turn at leading the lap, but it probably won't be like that, and they will go into, basically, those are the ones that will be walking away with the points, and Ramaldo Labori is the man to beat, and he is coming up in the next session after this, and hopefully we'll have some more drivers in that one as well. Unfortunately, we can't really do anything with the connection issues that happen a lot of the times. I do think one driver did, because they kept coming in the session, leaving the session, in, out, in, out, in, out a number of times. So unfortunately, I think they have a connection issue. I think it's best to try and sort it out before the race actually starts, then have it disconnected in the race, because that would just be really, really unfortunate to have it. And we saw it once before. I think the driver was in the top 3, and then out of nowhere, they just got disconnected and unfortunately lost their podium finishing position. And if that happens in the semi-final or the final, that is absolute heartbreak, because unfortunately, as per the rules, there's not much we can do about it. We can't exactly restart the race, because then timing will just be out of the window. And speaking of timing, we've got just 10 seconds on the clock here for this final round. It looks like a few drivers will get another turn, or just about another go at setting a lap time here. I don't think it's going to be very, very close here, as the FT1 of Bratman89, the man that's currently sitting in second place, is got a lot of open air in front and behind him, so he's got a lot of room for error, and that seems to have paid off for him, because he's in second place, with PDD654 being the man that will line up in just in front of him, but just a very, very small margin. And Bratman answers that immediately by putting his FT1 on pole position for the second heat race here. Then it is PDD654 who line up his second now. Sagon16 will be third. AX30ZA will be fourth. Maritza will be fifth in the Beetle, the only Beetle in this race. Then we have Al-Waheri22, who will be in 6th for the time being, but he's one of 3 drivers actually very close to setting another time here, but that might cost him. That's a bit wide there, Al-Waheri. I don't know if you can recover from that. You've got a second to catch up, but 2/10 of a second to just be one position, and that's it. His time's gone. That's going to cost him significantly as he comes across through the final corner. Now, where are the other drivers that are working their way around? It's not Sigon16. One of them was PDD654, but he's not fussed about it. The other one was AX30ZA. He's across line. Does he improve his lap time? No, he stays in 4th place for the time being, and the 2 Porsches are across the line now. No improvement from either of them, and that's qualifying over. There's confirmation of the starting order. It will be Bratman89 on the front row of the grid, with PDD654 alongside for company. So we will have one Toyota and one Porsche. The Porsche will be on the right side of your screen there, you can see it right now, and on the left hand, just out of shot, is the FT1 VGT of Bratman89, one of two of the two FT1s. The second one is down in 8th position at the moment with Ahmed JDM behind the wheel. I think he may want to swap back to the Jag or the Subaru. As we're about to get underway now for the second race of the day, the second quarter-final. A little bit of weaving across the line, of course, under AI control here, but as soon as it says start on the screen, that's it. It's down to driver control, and it's down to them for 5 laps. Here we go, the countdown is on. Green, 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 racing here for the second time here as part of the EMSO Summer Series Round 4, and into the first corner, all single file as they work their way across the line, but further down the field, it looks like there's already a change of position. Hamid UAE AD is on the inside of Al Maheri. We didn't quite catch that, we just saw it, but we didn't see the move take place through the corner, and Hamid already off to a flying start at his Audi R8, gains a position immediately. Great move there for the man that's in 6th place. There he is, and he's putting a gap in between himself and the Porsche of Al Maheri 22, so that's good news for the Audis. He climbs his way back up the order. Next in sight is Maritza in the Beetle, and looks like the other FT1 of Ahmed JDM is looking as well to pounce on Al Maheri 22. He saw the Audi do it, so he's like, I'm going to have a go at it as well. So here he is trying to make his way around the outside. Is he going to have the inside line for this corner? Yes, he will. But then the Porsche has the preferred line, but he shuts the door pretty early through the corner. FT1, they're getting a bit loose through the chicane as they're up the hill, and the FT1 now losing ground as to the Porsche, and there's Ahmed UAE AD. I think he's the man to watch here. He's been making moves all over the place, almost got on the inside there of Maritza, going through the long sweeping left hand up and onto the curbs, using as much as possible, but he's losing a little bit of ground here. Al Maheri 22 is charging now on the inside. Is he going to take the place away? Yes, he does, but they beat and they bang on each other's doors as they work their way through. The spin there for the Audi R8, stuck on the inside. Was there a touch there on the Beetle? Not too sure. I can tell you right now the stewards are looking into that as we speak. I'll see if I can get an insight from you from the stewards, but that's going to cost the drivers quite a bit of time, as there is the leading FT1 of Bratman89. Then in second place, there's third place. In second place is PDD 654. Sagon 16 is third. That is AX30ZA. Then the battle for 5th position between Maritza and Al Maheri 22. The Beetle fending from the Porsche for now, but that Porsche is very feisty at the moment with Al Maheri behind the wheel. As there he is now. He's going to look on the inside. No, he's not. The Beetle shuts the door, and the Porsche being thrown into the corner there. How he found grip, I have no clue. And you can see just behind him the Toyota all over the back of the Audi as they run. And his Hamid UAE after a fantastic start now is dropping back after that spin, and he was into the barrier as well on the previous lap. And then just behind him is Ahmed JDM in the Toyota FT1 as well. So we've got a Toyota at the front and a Toyota at the back. And there is the leading Toyota, Bratman89, leading by 1.2 seconds ahead of PDD 654 in the Porsche 911. I think he's one of the only drivers actually stuck to his guns and stayed in the same car throughout the entire championship so far. Sagon 16 seems to be under pressure at the moment from AX30ZA. There's about a car length between them, and the AMG is catching the 911 as we speak. Here they are working their way across the line now to complete lap number 2. We go now to lap 3. Can AX sneak up on the inside? Not quite close enough to make the move, but really close the gap in there. Brakes as late as possible. Can he sniff it way on the inside there as the Porsche shuts the door on him as he works his way through the first corner, and looks like AX is going to try around the outside. No, he's not. He's going to stick behind him for now, but that gap has come down to what looks to be about half a car length separating the two of them. The battle is on here for third place between Sagon 16, and AX30ZA, and this is the battle for the third step of the podium in this race. Remember, points don't matter here, it's just purely bragging rights, as here they go side by side, almost side by side even, and indeed now they're going to try and do side by side here. Who has the inside line? The Porsche does again, but the Mercedes will have it for this time round. But AX30 there is early on the brakes, not late on the brakes, not light on the brakes either, as The battle continues here for third place. Up front, the PDD 654 Porsche is reeling in the FT1 Toyota, but the battle is not as fierce in third place. Let's go a little bit further down. Here's Al Mahari 22, under pressure once again from Hamid UAE AD, and Ahmed JDM is a little bit further behind, and there was a battle earlier brewing, but they're dropping back as the two battling here. The Audi R8 has the inside line, and this is where he hit the barrier before. Very loose rear end, and Sagon 16 is tangled up there. I think that's with AX as well. We didn't quite see what happened there. We just saw the ghost car of Sagon 16 in the corner facing the wrong way, and AX was just working his way out of the corner, so I think those two clashed, got very, very close. Didn't quite catch the moment, as now Hamid UAE AD is now into fourth place, as Ahmed JDM is up into sixth position, and Maritza in third position at the moment. Let's go back up to the race leader, Bratman89, who sits just under a second ahead of PDD 654. And then we have, as we said, the Porsche behind him. Then it's about 5.5 seconds. Is that 5? Yes, it is. Back towards Maritza in the Beetle, the only Beetle in this race. And about 1.5 laps to go here in the second of the quarterfinals here as part of the EMSO Summer Series. PDD looking comfortably here in second place, but he'd want to improve. Supercar Baldy, that's a bold statement you're making there. I think the stewards might have to chime in there. We didn't quite get to see what happened. We will see if we can get one of the stewards to comment on the situation. Just not right now, but you may be right there, Baldy. You might be onto something, because we're about to start the last lap here of the second quarter-final race here, of the weekend. And now the 911 knows exactly what's up now. He's reeling in that Toyota FT1. There's about 2 car lengths between them. Oh, and Bratman FT1 has gone off. We just saw that there. Did he get loose? It looked like he did, and that is unfortunate for Bratman 89. I know that PDD was nowhere close for him at all, so it wasn't the Porsche's fault. Bratman 89 did that all by himself. I'm not sure what happened there. It just looked like he got too much on the grass and he just spun out. So we have a new race leader. We have PDD 654 is the man out in front, and he's got a lot of clean air in front and behind him. And then Maritza sits in second place. Very, very calm race here for the Greek driver. He stayed out of trouble everywhere he's been. He's been under pressure a few times, but he's managed to keep his cool, and the cool has paid off, because he's now in second place. Hamid UAE AD is third. Al Mahari 22 is fourth. Ahmed JDM is fifth. From Bratman 89 in sixth position. Then it's AX 30 ZA, who's under investigation, in seventh position, and Sagon 16 is also under investigation, possibly, but of course, you can see there in the chat, Dominic Simon, one of our team members here, is looking into that, and they will have a decision later on. But here comes the man who will walk away victory in the second quarterfinal. PDD 654 wins from Maritza in second place in the Beetle. Then it will be across the line in third place, Hamid UAE AD, followed by Al Mahari 22, Ahmed JDM in fifth position, Bratman 89. Could have been a win, but in the first couple of corners they just lost it. AX30ZA across the line in 7th, and in 8th place was Sagon 16. Again, a fantastic race. It was very hard to pick and choose where to be, because it seems as soon as we looked at someone else, something else happened way ahead of him. And there you go. There's confirmation. PDD 654 is the winner. He had the fastest lap. I know there was a question there before what the fastest lap was. ATCUAE, I couldn't quite get it for you there. I'm sorry I missed that out for you, but you saw that PDD 654 had the fastest lap of the race. That wraps up the second of the quarterfinals. We'll now go on into the third and final quarterfinal. We'll take our last 8 and we'll throw them into the mix, and we'll see who is in the semi-finals shortly. The semi-finals are scheduled to take place at around 5:30 here. See, we've left ourselves a little bit of leeway between the sessions, just in case we have issues connecting to one another. We will join Group 3 here with 9 people in the race so far, so that's a good sign that we've got at least half of the drivers. And here's Brett Noble with his insight. So he said sportsman issues. I was on the inside and he closed the door. I couldn't slow down and anymore, than I did. I waited for him to be on the safe side as well. I can't comment because I couldn't have seen it, but at least there Brett has put his 2 cents in. Thank you, Brett, for clarifying what it was like from your point of view. This now to the steward's discretion to see what they have to see about the about the move there that happened. So we'll now join the third group here of drivers. Again, we should have a total of 10. This was actually the smallest group of the lot, but I think we might have the most amount of drivers, actually, come to think of it. So we have so far Zolovita in the BMW M6. We have another FT1, not sure who that is. Can we get a flash up on the screen? That's Romaldo Labori. Now, interesting enough, I think he was racing in Lamborghinis before. I'm not too sure why he switched to the Toyota. It's not the best. I'm not going to say it's the best car to have, to be honest. It's had its fair share of issues, but Romaldo Labori is the man to beat, and if there's anyone who could probably win the race in the Toyota, it's probably him. MGK 704 is here as well in the Lexus RCF. The second time we've seen the Lexus out there. Didn't fare too well in round 1, but let's hope that MGK 704 can put it on the top step of the podium here in race number 3. We've seen Aiko Sega already. He's behind the wheel of an Audi R8. Looks like we've got a little bit of shuffling here. Another Toyota Supra. This must be the preferred choice of car for this track. Not sure why everyone is going for the Toyota. Maybe Ahmed JDM can chime in and let us know if there is a reason. There we have Danny Boy 91. He's one driver that was hopping in and out of the other session, so maybe he was just in the wrong session. But here he is behind the wheel of the Porsche 911 RSR. And then we have CIK. Is that it? Yes, it is. He will be racing in what appears to be a Nissan GTR. Indeed it is, and he's just hopped into the pit lane. So we'll just stick now with, let's actually go to the man to beat. The man that's in 7th place provisionally at the moment. It's not 8th place, there we go, 7th place. Romaldo Labori, who swapped his Lamborghini in for a Toyota FT1 VGR Group 3 here around the Japanese track. And I guess it would be a great win for the Toyota, because of course Toyota being a Japanese brand, it's on home soil, and Romaldo Labori would love another win here, but he has at least 3 races that stand in his way, including this one here, which of course is round 3 of 3 for the quarterfinals, the third and final quarterfinal here. Once again, our top 8 from this session will go on into the next round, or better yet, when it said you go into the first one, they could go into the second one. What they do is the top 8 name will be thrown into a bag, they'll be mixed around, and they'll be thrown into the semi-final 1 or semi-final 2, depending on how they're chosen. So we'll wait and see how it pans out here for Romaldo Labori, but he is certainly one to watch. He's been very consistent in all 3 race weekends. Even the race weekend that I missed, I see that he won, and he was consistent in his finishing position and on track as well. Very, very few mistakes here from Romaldo Labori. I think he may have had one hiccup, but it wasn't his own fault. A picture-perfect race indeed is what Romaldo Labori want, but will he get it? We'll have to wait and see, because we've had some phenomenal racing already in heat races 1 and 2 of the quarterfinals. We're about to get underway for the quarterfinals for round 3. Now, do bear with us, we're actually quite ahead of schedule, so this is a good way for us to get the drivers ready, and if they're not in the session, we can bring them in as soon as they can and try and push them to get in. I noticed that Andre Corey, or Dre Corey, excuse me, is on the entry list, and I don't see him in the session, which I'm upset about, and I know that he hasn't chimed in anywhere, so I worry if he's not going to be in there. We're also missing Ali SR8 as well from Group 1. That's a very strong Scottish driver that we're currently missing at the moment. we hope to see them back out. I've also noticed actually a few drivers in this session were actually supposed to be in other sessions. I'm not sure why that's happened, but nonetheless they are racing, which is what we want. So it's good news to have them. Danny Boy is the one that springs to mind because I see him. He's here. Danish Suhel was supposed to be in the first group, but he's here in Group 3. Yes, Ian, he was the man to beat there. A good clean race from PDD 654. A phenomenal race victory as well. It was pretty much handed to him, and he did a phenomenal job. He kept it clean throughout it. He didn't get it messy anywhere. He got close to Bratman 89, but Bratman unfortunately just went off by himself. It was no fault of anyone else's but Bratman 89. And if you want to watch the second race, if you're just joining us, go back about 20 minutes, you'll see the start of the qualifying there. And if you want to go back even further, you can watch the first of the races here, the heat races that we have. And it looks like we may get 9 races here, and I think and I hope we will. Oh, we have more drivers joining. Excellent, good stuff here. I think we might have some drivers who couldn't make it into heat races or quarterfinal races 1 and 2 now into this race, which is great to see, because we don't want to see any driver left out. We want to see them prove themselves and see what is in store for this qualifying heat race here. As ARC Diebomb there slowing down. I remember he used an Audi R8 not too long ago. He's going to have to slow down a little bit more. There we go. The penalty is now gone. Not sure why he's getting a penalty while he's practicing. It doesn't make any sense. There's no one else out there. He's not exactly cheating in any way, shape or form, but that's the way it works. As always, a huge shout out to our committed partners, the Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi, the Dubai Autodrome, and of course AUH Motorsport, who are providing us with some amazing prizes to give away to our top 3. Not our top 3 from today, but our top 3 of the overall championship, with the last race going to take place in 3 weeks' time. 3 weeks' time, no, but here, a month's time, excuse me. It'll happen on the 4th of September 2020. And I can tell you right now, the man who's leading the championship is now no longer in the session. Yes, he is, but he's just chilling out now in pit lane. And he is the man to beat as he's working his way now out of the pit lane. And just going back to the prizes that are on offer here for our top 3, for the winner of the EMSO Summer Series, they get a round of karting at the Yas Marina Circuit, sponsored by ADMM. Instructor track session at Yas Marina, also sponsored by ADMM. Race license assessment, sponsored by the Dubai Autodrome. A 30-minute test session in a Renault Clio Cup car thanks to AUH Motorsport, which is an awesome experience. If the driver finishes second overall in the championship, they get a round of karting at the Yas Marina Circuit, an instructor track session at Yas Marina, and a Formula DXB experience. So that's a turn behind the wheel of a single-seater race car. Phenomenal, right? Third, and this is my personal favourite actually because I've done this already, is a round of karting at the Yas Marina Circuit and the Abarth 595. Let me start that again. An Abarth 595 experience by the Dubai Autodrome. An amazing experience. I urge you all to go and do it. If by any chance you're watching and you want to take part in the series, we've got 2 rounds left. You're more than welcome to join us. The more drivers we have, the better. If you want to take part, all you need is a digital race license, and to do so, you've got to head on over to the EMSO's website here in the United Arab Emirates. It's emso.ae. Let me just check that. So it's emso.ae. Yes, indeed, that is the website. You want to head on over to, not the menu, you want to head on over to Digital Motorsports. You can see there is a drop-down menu on the top of your screen. Here, no, there isn't. Where is it's regulations, excuse me. So you want to click Digital Motorsports, how to participate. You can see how to enter the series and Digital Motorsport license. You will need a Digital Motorsport license to enter the championship, and unfortunately at the moment this is only available to drivers who are currently living in the United Arab Emirates. and you can see how to participate there. If you want to stay up to date with all of the going-ons of EMSO and the Summer Series, head on over to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and wherever else social media hangs out. You can catch us there, and of course EMSO, just you can see when the next races are. I can tell you right now the next race is in 2 weeks' time on the 21st of August, then round 6 will take place on the 4th of September. Driver openings, driver registrations is the word I'm looking for, will open about 2 weeks before the event starts, so it should open up tomorrow for round 5, and it will close 2 days before, if I'm not mistaken, on the Wednesday before the race is scheduled to start, and you'll need to get your registration in before that happens. And if you're registered, then we'll be seeing you on the next live stream, and you can be racing with some of the best online races the UAE has to offer, including this man right here, Romaldo Labori. So we've started now the qualifying for race number 3, excuse me, of the quarter-finals, and it looks like it's already a phenomenal race already. Did I just spot a Bentley somewhere in the back there? I don't think I did. I think the NSX's paint scheme is throwing me off. It is indeed an NSX. Good to see another Beetle here. A lot of argy-bargy going on here, a lot of beating and banging on each other's doors through the corners. The good news is that this is not the actual race. This is the final qualifying session for the quarterfinal race 3. Now, it's given me an option to change something down the bottom there, but I can't seem to change it for you. Sorry, apologies for that. So let's just clean up the screen a little bit here. There we go. We don't want the telemetry just yet on the screen. We'll get that back later on. So we'll just keep, there we go. We could just have the telemetry here. We could see what's it like with MGK 700. But let's do this now with the man to beat. Where is Romaldo Labori? I can't see him on screen. Why have I lost everything on the right-hand side? There we go, I've got him there. Romaldo Labori is down in 8th place at the moment, yet to set a time lap. Actually, no one has set a time lap just yet. How about we go on board? Let's go on the front bumper of Romaldo Labori's car right now as he works his way through turn 1. A long left-hander here, and he's a good exit there. Just 2 wheels on the corner there, and through the very quick chicane into the left-hander once again. You can see just up the road from him is I am Mohamed Zubair, as he races his way just up the hill over the crest and then down towards the left-hander yet again. Tries to stick as close as possible to the inside line there, almost 2 wheels on the grass, but keeps it off. We're now racing through into the right-hander, very quick right-hander there now. Down the hill, heavy on the brakes into the left-hander, reading in Mohamed Zubair at the same time. Quickly through the chicane, and then up the hill once again through into the left-hander, going into sector 3 now, into the right-hander, then up again now into another left-hander. Heavy on the brakes yet again here for Romaldo Labori. A little bit too wide, they're going through the corner, tries to tighten up just a little bit there through, and is making good ground. Iko Sega, they're dropping back. I think this is a calculated thing that he's doing here, into the right-hander. Left again, over, using as much curve as possible, following in the footsteps of Mohamed Zubair. They were using a little bit too much of the grass as we work our way into the right-hander. Again, very, very wide there through the corner for Romaldo Labori. Onto the rumble strips, and it will be across the line now. We can see what time Romaldo Labori sets as he comes across the line. We'll go back to some more static images there as he sets a time of, what does he do there? He's thousandths of a second ahead, and he's set the fastest time. What has he done there? He's done a 1:32.788. Al-Khabaisi 100% right there. He is all over the place, but he is the man to beat. Despite him being literally all over the gaff, he's still able to set a very fast lap time there and still be fractions of a second ahead of the rest of the field there. So we'll continue on now with the session with what, just under a minute remaining here, 60 seconds on the clock, or under 60 seconds even, as now Romaldo Labori flashed the headlights to signify the drivers, hey, I'm quicker than you, get out of my way now. He's got a fast lap time, but someone could beat it, and the Beetle might impede this. The Vishal 34 car there might be a bit of an issue, as he was dangerously close there to the back end of it, and can he get another... Can you get another time lap in here? No, as Vishal 34 is into the side there of the Honda NSX. And Ahmed JDM back here into the Session Ahmed, why don't you tell us a little bit about that previous round, or previous races? Romaldo Labori muscles his way through the corner, leans as much as possible on Vishal 34's Beetle and the Honda as well, and this isn't even in the race. There's just arguments going off all over the place, beating and banging everywhere you look, and through the final corner, and Romaldo Labori will not get another time in, but can he improve in his cross line? I don't think so. I think he was heavily impeded by a number of the other drivers, and it looks to be he will provisionally stay out in front, but I think we have one driver that could possibly upset him. Who's that coming across the line now? Will it upset him? No, it does not. Romaldo Labori continues to stay out in front, and it looks like we will start once again with the Toyota FT1 on the front row of the grid, with Toyota FT1 alongside for company. It will be an all Toyota front row here for qualifying race number 3. Then we have another Japanese manufacturer. It will be the Honda NSX of Ayman Mohammed Zubair. ATCUAE and the Audi R8 will be the first of the non-Japanese manufacturers on the grid, and they will line up on the second row alongside Ayman Mohammed Zubair. MGK 704 looks to be on a flying lap here. Has he got enough time? He's got to go through a couple of more corners here in another Japanese car. This is the Lexus RCF. This is only the second time we've seen the Lexus out and about here this weekend. As he's through the final corner, he's got about 30 seconds to make it across line. I think he can now. Is he fast enough? He does improve all the way up to 4th place. He puts Lexus 4th on the grid. It is indeed. It is a very heavily JDM grid. I think actually that puts JDM cars top 2 and top 4. Yes, indeed it does. And then we have an all-European row 3 with ATCUAE in the Audi R8 and Zola Vita in the BMW M6, and then Danny Boy in the Porsche. Then another Japanese car, and at the back of the grid, unfortunately, is the Beetle. The Beetle not faring very well here in the third it's a quarter-final race here. And there's one of the Toyotas, that's the second place Toyota of ARC Dive Bomb, that will line up in second place. So, but in this race we have 9 drivers, so one driver here will not make it into the final race, the semi-final race even, not the final. The final is a ways away. One of these drivers here will not make it into the final, into the semi-final, excuse me. There is Vishal 34 in the Beetle, and now under AI control, we'll now go into the start of the race. The countdown will begin shortly. There it is. Romaldo Labori leads the field over the line. Green, green, green here for the 3rd time at the quarterfinals, through and into the first corner here. Does anyone make any bold moves like the Audi R8 did in round 2? Not quite. Let's go mid-pack. Is there anyone off wide? Not quite. All single file through. A bit skittish for some of the drivers, but everyone is through nice and clean. No arguing just yet. No beating bang on each other's doors. Flash the lights there from the BMW M6 for Zola Vita to tell ATCUAE, hey, look, I'm faster than you. Come on, pick up the pace or let me through. As we race our way through the first couple of corners now, Romaldo Labori already putting a nice gap of 6th of a second between himself and the second of the Toyota FT1's ARC Dive Bomb. Then it's the Honda NSX of Ayman Mohammed Zubair in 3rd place, with the MGK 704 in 4th. And it looks like the JDM cars here are locking out the top 4 already, with the Audi now closing in, and the BMW M6 as well is coming through, although a little bit skittish there through the chicane, but working his way through the order. Then up into, going down, excuse me, down to 7th place. There's the Porsche 911 RSR of Danny Boy 91, and there's a very, very late braking CIK in the Nissan GTR. Now, not sure, we did catch a glimpse of that. I think CIK 5 just forgot there was a corner there, just forgot to brake by the looks of it. Managed to stay in 8th position at the moment and is on the chopping block, but Vishal 34, this is not the way we expected Vish to start this race here. He's a lonely 9th position, and he's 5.6 seconds behind even the man that's in 8th position with that late braking attempt there. And it looks like Vish is actually struggling a little bit here with the Beetle. This might be the first time he's used it, and just getting to grips with the car car. But let's go back up front here. We've still got a single file line, at least from second to about 6th place. There's the FT1 through the corner, and that's where we saw Bratman89 have the issue in race 2, as there is Ronaldo Labori now working his way and putting a nice gap, about 1.6 seconds between himself and Mohamed Zubair, who's now up into 2nd place. What actually happened to ARC Dive Bomb, the second of the Toyota, could have served as rear gunner to Ronaldo Labori, has dropped down into 4th place and is under pressure now from the Audi as Aiko Seg looks to the inside. It's going to be a drag race. No, it's not, as Aiko Seg tucks in behind as ARC Dive Bomb 2 wheels off the curb there. Don't know what the stewards will have to say about that as we continue on now with Aiko Seg now dropping back ever so slightly, but it's Mohamed Zubair in 2nd with MJK 704 running in 3rd place in the Lexus RCF, and it's good showing there for the Lexus, as we have 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. We've got the Toyota, we've got the Honda, and we have the Lexus, entire trio of Japanese cars. Arizona Vita flash the lights to remind Aiko Seg that, hey, I'm here, I am coming faster, please get out of my way. And Aiko Seg saying, no, you're not coming past me at all, I'm going to stay here in 5th position. As he's reading in ARC Dive Bomb, and Dive Bomb here not having the best opening laps here. He's dropping back after a very, very strong qualifying session. Now, I may possibly be wrong about the flash of the lights here on the BMW M6, because it seems to be every time he dabs his foot on the brakes, he flashes the lights. Now, I wonder if that's a controller thing, because I was informed that he's done this before in previous races, but I've never really picked it up, and it just seems to be that when he gets close, he's flashing the lights, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Let's have a look. Al-Khawaii, see if we can spot who has the fastest lap. Last time I was a 1:33.093. Now, I don't think I can actually get this data for you. I think maybe one of the stewards can get it, but let's try and flick through the menus that I have. I don't think I can get the fastest lap for some reason, even if I tab it open. Nope, there we go. Didn't want that at all. No, I do not want to do that. You're going all over the place here. Controller, sorry. The controller just dropped on the floor. Luckily, he picked it up on time. Ronaldo Labori's last lap was a 1:33.093. I can't quite get that timing. I don't know why it doesn't pop up for me here on this timing screen. I wonder if one of the stewards can chime in with a fastest lap so far. Apologies for that, Al-Khawaii. I can't quite get you that information. If I can, I will get it back over to you. I have a feeling, though, Ronaldo Labori is the fastest man out there. Now, what's he done there? He's done a 1:32.501. Now, that's significant improvement, and I have a feeling, Al-Khawaii, that is the fastest lap. Let's have a look at what MGK did. He's under pressure now from ARC Dive Bomb. He did a 1:33.880, about a second slower. Mohamed Zubair is running in 2nd to 1:33.528 as well. It looks like Supercar Baldy wants some friends. Thank you, Dominic Simon, for jumping in there with the fastest lap of the race, 1:32.501, which is done by Ronaldo Labori on the previous lap we just had, is the fastest lap to go. Abdul Ghaffar, hello. Great to see you. Great effort there in race 2 that you had there. And it looks like we've got a battle here for 3rd place between the Lexus and the Toyota. The RCF just ahead of the Supra, but the Supra is really getting the mindset here of MGK 700 as he was all over the grass there going through the corner. He's got a penalty of 0.5 of a second as well for the Lexus. A great show for the car, but now it's unfortunately got the penalty and we're dropping down the order. And it looks like Supercar Baldi is offering GT Sport Online services here, and he wants you to send a WhatsApp number to the number that is there in the chat if you want to join for some GT Sport Online racing. And is there a bigger time penalty amounted to that? But no, there's one added to Ronaldo Labori as he starts the next lap. He is, though, 3.2 seconds ahead for the time being. So that 0.4 of a second penalty will drop it down to 3 seconds. So not too much to worry here for Ronaldo Labori as he continues to lead the race here, much cleaner than he was in qualifying. Now he's through that corner successfully there. No entanglement and going off anywhere as the battle for 3rd has died down. There's Mohamed Zubair. as he races in second place, excuse me. Third place is ARC Dive-Bomb running in third place. As we said, fourth is the Lexus with a 2-second penalty now looming over his head, and that is drama for MGK 700. The good news is he's about 9/10 of a second. Bet yet, no, he's not. Or is he? It looks to be he is 9/10 of a second ahead of this battle here between Zolovita and ATCUAE. But again, Zolovita has a penalty. A lot of penalties being issued actually in this race here as the two clatter into each other. That's the BMW M6 into the left door of the Audi R8 of ATCUAE. Saying is quick through the corner there, and it looks to be we're going now entering into the third sector of the race, and we're just following Zolovita here because he's very close to the bumper of ATCUAE, and these two have been mixing it up throughout the race. But let's go back to race leader Romaldo Labori as he works his way through the final corner. Another perfect race for Romaldo Labori here, and a great way to start race round 4, excuse me, for Romaldo. He's going to be into the semi-final now. As we said, he's the man to watch. He slows down at the line, so he's not impeded by that penalty, and he had enough time between himself and Mohamed Zubair in order for Zubair to finish in second place. The rest of the field now work their way across the line. You see there Zolovita is dropped back behind ATCUAE, and he's actually dropped ATCUAE's actually promoted to 4th place despite coming across the line in 5th due to MGK 700's penalty that was looming over his head. And that wraps up the race there. Now what happened to Vish? He's coming across the line now, and unfortunately Vish will be the first driver of the day to not make it into the semi-final, because of course we'll take our top 8. Now that wraps up the EMSO Summer Series quarterfinals. We'll now move on to the semi-finals of the race. There, of course, 3-star performance from Romaldo Labori, pole position, fastest laps, and clean race. It couldn't have gone any better for Romaldo Labori. Thank you very much for watching round 3 of the quarterfinal heat races. Do stay with us. As we said, we'll keep the stream running, so we'll move on now to the first of the semi-finals. We'll take, I presume, 4 drivers from this session, 4 drivers from the other session. No, that doesn't work. I think 3 with possibly a 4th from one of the sessions. We'll figure it out somehow. And as the names are thrown into the mix, we'll be now moving on to the, as we said, the first of the semi-finals. So let's say show only rooms with friends. We want to join, who are we with just then? We want to join this one here that's a semi-final number 1. And there are a few drivers already in it. I think we've got to wait for a few drivers from this session to join. And we'll move on now to the lobby, and hopefully there are some drivers that will be out on track so we can spectate and have a little bit something more interesting to watch than just a blank screen. As we'll now go into the lobby once my PlayStation decides to load. Any time now would be fantastic. It's still loading. And it looks like we are joining the session. Dominic Simon is also here as well, as we said, stewarding the race weekends here, and always helpful in the chat as well with the information that I can't get you. Dominic Simon, always my silent partner who helps me out in every way, shape or form with any information I need. Huge shout out to Delicious for the help as we're now underway. So we're about to get underway for what should be the first of the semi-finals. And this is where we'll see our first lot of drivers really start battling out, because there's a lot to play for now, because the top 6 only from this race will go through into the final, and we will... and then we'll see how does this play out then. Do we take the top 6? I think we do, and then those top 6 will be thrown into a final. Indeed they will. And that final schedule take place at 6:45. But again, we're ahead of schedule, which is always marvellous to have. And that's due to the fantastic organisation from EMSO, and of course we haven't had any significant issues so far. Brett, that is a great idea, and I wonder if EMSO will do that, because the 2-hour endurance race will be very interesting. I don't know how we'll do it though with 16 drivers. And Supercar Baldy brings up a very, very valid point. I don't think the connection would last that long. We've had issues where drivers have cut out in a 5-minute race, let alone a 2-hour race. Great idea though. Maybe, just maybe, we could possibly organise a championship to be held at possibly the Autodromo Yas Marina, where we do it there. And we get like some gaming rigs or whatever, and we have PlayStation set up, and we race the 2-hour endurance race there. At least then we can actually have driver changes as well. We can do it in teams of 2. This gives me an idea. It's just an idea for me. It's probably not an idea that anyone else wants to do. Hey, I'm just spitballing here. So if you're just joining us, hello and welcome to round 4 of the EMSO Summer Series Championship here. It is part of an online championship that we're doing here in the United Arab Emirates. If you want to learn more about it, you can head on over to the EMSO's website, that's emso.ae, or you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, a few other places for social media, and you can follow us there to find out information about previous rounds, rounds that are coming up, even the current round if you want to look at that as well. If you want to participate, all you have to do is get yourself a digital race license, and for that you want to head on over to the EMSO's website, that's emso.ae, and you want to go on online competition, regulations, and then go to digital motorsports, and then you can find ways to participate, and of course you can see how to apply for a digital racing license as well. The only thing that you need to adhere to is that you need to be, I think, a UAE resident. I think you need to have a valid Emirates ID to be, in order to race in the championship. I think it doesn't matter if you have one and live overseas, but then the connection issues might be a problem. But it is open currently to drivers who currently reside in the UAE. And we always have a fantastic time every weekend that we've had the championship. This, of course, now we're going into the final 3 races. This is round 4. Round 5 is scheduled to take place in 2 weeks' time on the 21st of August. Round 6, the final round, and the deciding round will take place on the 4th of September 2020, so in about a month's time. So 2 weeks' time we'll have the next race. In 2 weeks after that we'll have the final round of the championship, and you can catch all the action live on YouTube. You can rewatch all the action live as well on YouTube as well, and of course do make sure that you follow us on social to find out more about this incredible championship and about more upcoming events and motorsports in general in the United Arab Emirates. So we're just, as we said, we're ahead of time at the moment, which gives us enough time and the drivers enough time to filter their way into the races. Oh, what have I done here? I do not want that to go away. I accidentally hit the controller. Apologies for that. It will give us enough time for the drivers to get in, ensure their connections are ready, ensure their batteries are charged on their controllers and their steering wheels are properly hitched in place before the start of the qualifying here for the semi-final. So again, it works the same way as the quarterfinals. We'll have a 5-minute qualifying session. However, instead of 5 laps, we'll have 7 laps in the semi-final, and then in the final rounds we'll have a mammoth 12 laps of racing, which would be insane. In 5 laps alone we've had incredible battles. We've had 3, even 4 wide moves made going into tight corners. We've seen drivers battle it out through chicanes, drivers spin out on the very last corner, spins, burnout, you name it. We've seen it already so far, as you see Sean Simpson attempting to do what we just said as he's across the through the corner there, and actually did that on a straight. And just waiting now for the final few drivers. As you can even see who is in the session. So we've got 9 drivers so far. We should have a total of 12, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, let's do a little bit of math here. Yes, indeed, we'll have 12 drivers. We have a total of 9, so we're missing 3 drivers, excuse me, at the moment. Are we missing, or no, we're not. We're missing 2 drivers. Yes, we're missing 2 drivers. I can't tell you who those drivers are because I don't have a sheet in front of me, but there is Romaldo Labori, or fresh off a win. car? That's a good question, Ahmed. Should you get in a race suit and driving gloves to get more horsepower in the semi-final? Well, you need to add some more stickers to the car. That's how you get at least 5 more horsepower. Doesn't matter what the sticker is. Even if it's like a small sticker, it'll add at least 1 horsepower. The bigger the sticker, the more horsepower it adds. So, I mean, if you vinyl wrap the car in another sticker, maybe that adds at least 25 horsepower. Don't know if a racing suit and a helmet will. I think it will save you more in case the controller battery dies and maybe it falls over or something. But you need to add more stickers. That's where the horsepower comes from. Fun fact. That's how you make your car go really fast. Adding more spoilers helps as well. The more spoilers you add, you do it. Yes, Vafi, the top 6 who qualify in this race, or the top 5 of the race finishing results, will go into the final of the race, the final race of the weekend, excuse me. So, you know what, I would like to pick our top 6, but you know what, this field is far too competitive for it. Anything can happen, and especially we've got 7 laps of racing, so yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult. Ahmed, I think that's a great idea. So you're going to have to sit now while this race is underway. You're going to have to put stickers all over your FT1 to make sure that you get that 500 HP benefit, so that you can storm through the field and win by like 8 laps. So before anyone's even started the first lap, you've already won, and that's how you win. So as we said, we're getting ready here now for the semi-final of the 4th round of the EMSO Summer Series. As there is Romaldo Labori. We did take a lap on board with him in the previous round to see what it's like behind, or better yet, on the front bumper of the basically the man to beat, the championship leader. See how he does it. The lap was somewhat untidy, as we picked up in the group chat as well, but when it came to the actual race, clean as a whistle. Not a single scratch on the car. He didn't have anyone to deal with. He even got a penalty and still had enough time to slow down and win the race. I think he won it by about 3 seconds, and that of course is championship winning material from Romaldo Labori, and that just proves how he is the championship leader. I'm not taking anything away from the rest of the drivers. We've had some incredible racing over the past couple of weeks. It's been phenomenal from all the drivers, and as always, I'd like to now, as we're sort of at the halfway stage, we've had 3 races already, we're now going into the next 3. A huge shout out to the EMSO for putting this whole thing together. A big shout out to our partners, AUH Motorsport, the Yas Marina Circuit, and of course the Dubai Autodrome. Big shout out to the stewards, the drivers as well. Of course, it is a Friday, it's a weekend here, but with not much to do outside and with still some restrictions in place, it's a little bit difficult to do some things. And well, we keep ourselves entertained by racing online, and a lot of people and a lot of championships around the world are still doing. I know the Australians are still doing it, although I'm not watching it as frequently as I should. It's great to see that we are supporting an online championship, and maybe this thing is doing well. Hey, hopefully we can have this again next year. That would be awesome to have on. Maybe we can make this a thing, because of course racing here in the United Emirates gets very hot during the summer. It's near impossible to even step outside, so you can imagine what it's like behind the wheel of a race car. You might say, oh yeah, well what if he's racing a cage from a radical? No, it doesn't matter. Even a bike, it doesn't matter. It still gets incredibly hot on those things, and it's obviously not feasible. So maybe we should just stick to online racing during the summertime, keep everyone's spirit up and excited about the upcoming race series that is due to start hopefully in a few weeks time here in Dubai. But for now we have online racing, and we still have 3 rounds of racing if we include this one. If we don't, we've got 2 rounds of racing on the 21st of August and the 4th of September. Rami Azam chimes in, a great job, of course it is. We're waiting for you to return, not just on the game, waiting for you to return as well in real life. We've missed you, Rami. Where have you been? I know that you've been in Europe for the past couple of weeks. We were hoping that you'd be back here. I know that you said, I think your flight was later than the actual race starts. That's why we're not seeing you. Hopefully we see Rami back in race number 5. Oh, we'll be back in race number 6, or round 6. Great. So that's one driver we can count on. And hopefully hopefully we will indeed have great racing in store. So we're about 7 minutes off of the actual start time. We might get lucky actually and start a little bit earlier, because I know that we have at least 11 drivers. Actually, we have 12 drivers. We actually have the entire field here, so I'm not sure why we haven't started the race yet. It's actually very unfamiliar to see all of the drivers in the field at the same time, and it looks like Tawana has dropped his Lexus for a sister car. He's gone to the Toyota FT1. I think he's seen that it is a very potent car around here, and it is almost the car to beat at times. And the qualifying session is getting underway in a matter of seconds here. And if you want to know more about Tawana Allah, all you have to do is head on down to the Lexus showroom here in, I think he's in DFC, I'm not too sure. I can tell you now that I know he works for Lexus. I'm not going to quote anything about what he does at Lexus. Pretty sure he's head of marketing there, but I could be wrong there. But great to see that even some of the guys that work for the dealerships here are jumping on board with the championship, and it'd be great to see even more join in at some point. But the qualifying is now underway for the first of the semi-finals here as part of the EMSO Summer Series. This, of course, is round 4. Investment Park, yeah, you're probably right actually. Investment Park's way out there, though. I prefer the DFC branch, I'm not going to lie, because I spend a few days going. I go there actually, I think at least once a week at the moment. I scatter my time between all the Alpha showrooms, Honda, Toyota, Volvo, although I have to stay out of the Volvo showroom because that'll be a bit of an issue for me. But we're now underway for the qualifying session here for the semi-final of round 4, and the first sort of now of where the heat is going to be really on here. With a total of 12 drivers, only 6, so only half the field will go through into the final, although they will be thrown into a bag. No, it won't, because there's only one final. What am I talking about here? There's only one final. So the top 6 of these guys will go into the final race here, and this is where the pressure is on. By the way, X-Dog, hello and welcome to the chat. Great to have you here watching the live stream here for the EMSO Summer Series Round 4 live in the United Arab Emirates. We're not racing here in the UAE, we're racing on Kyoto Driving Park in Japan. It will be a 7-lap race here in the semi-final. We'll have 5 minutes of qualifying, which already 2 minutes have gone by, but we will move on into 7 laps of racing after this once we've set the field. But who will be where? Well, we're going to have to wait another 3 minutes. And that's what it's going to be so interesting to see. We've had 5-lap races already, which have been absolutely phenomenal. Adding an extra 2 is going to be even better. So about 2 minutes to go now in the session here for the qualifying round for the first of the semi-finals here. Of course, the top 6 at the end of the race that's about to start in 2 minutes' time will be going into the finals. And that will be what will be the most interesting out of the lot, what they can do, as we will see now. There's Ayed Zab, who is the man to beat at the moment, or is he, as he's just been beaten by the Beetle from Maritza. That's Alexandros Anivas, who's piloting that car at the moment. Prolific race car driver here in the United Emirates, races in the UAE NGK Pro Car Championship, and is immediately beaten by championship leader Romaldo Labori in the Toyota FT1. And he's the man to beat there at 1:32.611, and he's dipping very close into his fastest lap time from the previous race. I think it was a 1:32.501, as Bratman89 in another one of the Toyota FT1s goes into second place. And it seems to be the Toyota is certainly the car to beat here in Japan, as the Beetle is another contender, but not as strong as, say, the Toyotas are faring at the moment. Going down to 6th position, we'll go 5th first, as we see the Porsche 911 of Almaheri 22. Then is SRS Simo in the 2nd of the Beetles. Is he the Beetle? Yes, he is. That's Sean Simpson there, who's gone off track on that lap. Then MGK 704, the only driver now left in a Lexus. We had a man from Lexus racing in a Lexus, but he decided to go for the sister car from Toyota instead. Sagan 16 is here as well. He's in the Porsche 911 RSR as well. In 9th place, we have Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have Danny Boy 91 in a Porsche 911 RSR. Then we flick on over to 11th place, a Toyota, and I think it's 2 Toyotas actually just outside the top 10. ARC Dive Bomb is in 1, and then Tawanala is in another one. He's in at the back of the field. Oh, and he's into the barrier there, just at the top of the hill. Glad we just caught that on screen. I don't think that's how Allah wanted to race his way through the qualifying session here with now 2 minutes to go. That's it, it's done. And it's only a matter of time now. Can he set a lap time in? It looks like he's struggling actually with the car. Now, I would say that's a problem with the controller, but I just think he's getting to grips with the FT1, because of course he must have been preparing himself with the Lexus previously, and now he's having to adjust to the FT1. Of course, 2 very different cars. This one is a V6, whereas the Lexus is a V8 for the RCF. So of course different power units, and of course completely different aero packages as well. As we will flick over now, who's got a... Ooh, we think he's a bit further up the field, but more importantly, we have now a man that's in 2nd place, ARC Dive Bomb. So it looks like we'll have a Toyota 1, 2, 3 for the time being. Now, where's another Toyota? Not for a while. Sagan 16 will be in 4th position at the moment. Does anything change with about 45 seconds to go? Not quite, as there is the man with who'll be sitting on the front row of the grid with this man alongside for company. Those are the 2 Toyota FT1s. Then there's another Toyota behind them. That will be this man right here, Bratman 89, who is almost so close to winning his quarterfinal heat race, but unfortunately, I think it was the 4th corner of the last lap. He just got a little bit loose, and he just hit the tyre barrier, and that was it. Unfortunately, had to settle for 8th position at the line, which was enough to put him into the final, though, at least. So we'll go back now as the field slowly work their way around, as Romaldo Labori is the man to beat, and the qualifier has now officially ended. We move on now to the first of the semi-finals, and the first 6 drivers from this race will go into the final round of the day of the EMSO Summer Series Round 4. There are at least 2nd, 4th and 6th by the looks of it. Actually, no, that looks like 2nd through 4th, actually. ARC Dive Bomb, Sagan 16 and Bratman 89, with 89 being slotted in the middle. But it looks like we are 12 drivers already for the 7-lap race here. Romaldo Labori will lead the field down now under AI control until it says go, and then we'll be green flag racing here for the first semi-final. And this is going to be a very, very interesting race here. 12 drivers is the most we've had so far. How's it going to be as we green here for the first time in the semi-finals, as Romaldo Labori gets a great start there ahead of the Toyotas. There's a Beetle that's run out wide. That's Maritza, by the looks of it, very close there to the pit wall. Very interesting way to start. Let's flick through and into midfield to see if we can spot anything. There's some arguing there going a little bit further back. That looks like Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 and Maritza. That's 2 Beetles battling with one another. Let's go a bit further back and see what the deal is there. No, we can't go that far back and see what's going on, but the field now snaking their way through the field. Looks like we've got some battling going on for at least 5th position at the moment. There it is. That's Sagan and NGK 742. That's a battle for 4th place, with the Lexus trying to sneak up on the inside, but more importantly, there's something going on back here. The battle of the 2 Beetles at the moment. The M6 wants a bit of this action as well, wants to get in front of both of them, wants the 2 Beetles to trip over each other, as Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 moves up into 6th place after winning winning the first heat race earlier on today, the first quarter-final that is, as he leans on the Maritza Racing, and Maritza Racing Alexander Sanibas there muscling his way through past the Beetle, and now the Beetle under pressure from the BMW M6 Zolo Vita. Now can we see that as the Sagan 16 Porsche trying to push MGK through the corner there, and there's cars all over the place actually going through the corner there. I think there's ATCUAE going through and off track, unfortunately, in the FT1. Yes, indeed it is. At about 4.7 seconds from Danny Boy 91. Let's go back with Romaldo Labori, who is under pressure from ARC Diebomb by about 1 car length as they work their way through the final corner, and they're across the line here to complete lap number 1. It will leave 6 laps to go at the line. 3 to the second is the gap between Labori and ARC Diebomb. There they are, line astern, down through and into the first corner here, into the long left-hander for the second time. And ARC Diebomb, they're losing a bit of ground, but a much tighter line there for Diebomb, and looks like he's close enough to make a move. Not yet. Late on the brakes there as possible, as they're racing their way through. Now, can he sneak up on the inside? No, he can't. Romaldo Labori shuts the door immediately as they wait their way through now the first sector of the track. Romaldo Labori, ARC Diebomb, excuse me, going to try the long way around, go around the outside. That's not going to work. Trying to get the cut back here and dive on the inside of Romaldo as they work their way into the left-hander. No, still not close enough to make a move. Now going down towards what will be the sector 2 timing beacon, so they took into the second sector. Not close enough to make a move here for ARC Diebomb. Romaldo Labori continues to lead now by 0.5 of a second. We'll continue on through. We'll leave this battle now. There's third place as Bratman 89. Fourth place Sagan 16 has a penalty of about a second. But what's happening here? The Beetles on the inside of the Lexus, and they're drag racing down towards the corner, but MGK has the inside line. Maritza goes around the outside. That's not where you want to be, being pushed out wide by the Lexus as they work their way through. And now it looks Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 is in the mix as well. He's already won 1 race already. He's got bragging rights, but he wants more bragging rights as Maritza tries to muscle his way through past MGK. And there they are now. He has to settle in behind him. Great battle here for 5th place. But what's it like back up front? Let's see what it is. ARC Diebomb leads the race, and what's happened to Romaldo Labori? Didn't quite catch that. He's down into 4th place. Has ARC Diebomb, has he done something cheeky, or has he just spooked Romaldo Labori enough to get him to make a mistake and force that issue? That's a very, very uncommon thing to happen. Romaldo Labori succumbing to something like that. We'll see if there is anything from the stewards, but I don't think there's any foul play. There's no penalties to be issued anywhere. Bratman 89 is in 2nd place, with Sagan 16 in 3rd, still with that 1 second penalty over his head, and he's trying to make a move on the inside of Bratman 89. A much tighter line there for the 911 RSR as he works his way through the left-hander. Let's go back through the lead. There is Romaldo Labori in 4th position, with MGK in 5th for now, and Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 has found a way through and up in 6th place. Maritza obviously tried to make a move somewhere on the Lexus and just hasn't paid off. As we go a little bit further down, let's go to 8th place at the moment. There's SRS Simo, or Sean Simpson, who's just ahead of the BMW M6 of Iyad Azab, as there he is in 9th position. Going back now to 10th place, Danny Boy 91. He's in a little bit of his own race here. He's not really close enough to the M6 to make a move, and nor is he under pressure from anyone, as Al Mahari 22 runs in 11th place, with Tawa Allah in 12th position. And I don't think switching to the FT1 has been a good idea here for Tawan Allah, as he's late on the brakes there, and he's struggling, really struggling actually, with the car going through into now sector 3, and he's losing significant ground. But nonetheless, great to have him here. Of course, he's working for Lexus here in the United Arab Emirates. It's great to see that the OEMs and the official dealers are looking at this championship and pretty much almost participating in the championship in one way or another, as ARC Diebomb now is coming under pressure from Bratman 89, as the FT1s now together, about a car length separate the two of them. Now going into the left-hander, can they brake as late as possible? No, Bratman 89 thinks better of it, but a much tighter line there for Bratman 89, almost 2 wheels off the curb there and into the grass. Is not where you want to be, especially Bratman. You should have learned your mistake from the last round. Oh, better yet, sorry, the last round that you participated in earlier this afternoon. Is into the chicane now they go. Can Bratman 89 find a way through as ARC Diebomb is into the grass? This gives the advantage to Bratman 89. Can he reel him in? Not quite. as the battle is on now for the lead of the race. Where's Romaldo Labori? He's still in 4th place at the moment, watching what's happening up front, because guess what? CIK and 16 is now in the mix as well, although he does still have that penalty looming in his head, and he's taken about a 1/10 of a second off of that penalty. He's still in the mix here for a win here in the semi-final. Again, no points on offer, just bragging rights, but you want to be in the top 6 at least, so the cutting off point is here, not there actually, that's SRS Simo, excuse me, right here. Maritza, he's the man at the moment who is on the cutting block. He's in 6th position. Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. The man that's just behind him is 7th, and officially, if the race were to end now and they come across the line, he would not be in the final of the race. He would be he wouldn't be anywhere actually. What am I talking about? There's no loser final, unfortunately, although it was an idea submitted. I don't think it's an idea that will get approved, as we'll go back now to the lead of the race, and ARC Dive Bomb now putting a gap between himself and Bratman89 in his FT1, as the GON 16 applies the pressure to the Toyota in the early stages of Sector 1, but then loses out through the chicane. That FT1 is very quick through those complex of corners, and the gap that he put on himself at CIK and 16 was quite incredible there, as they work their way now through down the hill and into a left-right complex here. The chicane is the Bratman close enough to make a move, not quite, although he is reading ARC Dive Bomb a much straighter line actually. If you watch ARC Dive Bomb through the chicane there, he sort of straight lines it, whereas Bratman89 takes both corners. He's heavy on the right, heavy on the left straight away, which I think is impeding his time there. He wants to sort of straight line that chicane. You can see CIK and 16 again reeling in the back bumper of that FT1 as Bratman89 loses out to ARC Dive Bomb. Now let's go over to 5th place, as MGK 704 is not under pressure from Maritza, who's also not under pressure from this man here, Silver 1, 2, 3, 4, as we'll go now further through the field, because it looks like we have a battle brewing. Where is that battle brewing? No, it's a bit further down than this. It's between these two men here, 10th and 11th place, Al Maheri and Danny Boy 91. Now we said before that Danny Boy didn't have a lot to worry about behind him. He had quite a gap between himself in front of him and behind him, but Al Maheri now has come out of nowhere and started to reel in the other Porsche as they're working their way through the final corner and across the line. Despite Al Maheri 22 having that penalty looming over his head, he is catching the back of Danny Boy 91 as they're across the line now to complete lap number 5. 2 laps to go now for this man right here, AIC Dive Bomb. You see in the back there the shot to CIK and 16 going around the outside of Bratman89, and I think Bratman89 has actually done that to get rid of his penalties, trying to shake it off so that he can once again chase ARC Dive Bomb, but it doesn't seem to have worked out, and I could possibly be wrong about that, but nonetheless CIK and 16 leads that pack at the moment in 2nd place, between these two here battling for the 2nd step of the podium. And Romaldo Labori is just biding his time here. He's just watching carefully what these two are doing in front of him, and he just wants these two to trip over one another. Now, how far back is Romaldo Labori? He is 1.3 seconds, so this wouldn't elevate him to 3rd place. It would possibly... No, it wouldn't. There's no... Even with the 9th of a second penalty, that would not promote him. But saying that, he's just reeled them in. He's reeled them in quite significantly as well. He's brought that gap all the way down to 4/10 of a second. And now this is good news from Romaldo Labori, because he'll at least be 3rd. As he's coming across the line now to start the final lap. ARC Dive Bomb continues to lead here by 1.3 seconds over CIK and 16. There he is there with a 9/10 of a second penalty, which will drop him down to 3rd place. Bratman89 also has a penalty, which will presumably, better yet, Bratman89's penalty is almost gone. So actually, he hasn't got anything to worry about. He could well finish in 2nd place here, but he's very, very fast there through the corners there, almost into the safer barrier there as he works his way through the letter. He's going to try around the outside of CIK and 16. Can he do it? No, he can't. He has to tuck in behind him. He's going to try on the inside now as CIK and 16 goes a little bit wide through the exit of the corner there, down the hill and into the chicane once again. Now this is where Bratman89 struggles, because he doesn't quite straight line the chicane compared to the other drivers, although that time that was much, much cleaner there for Bratman89. Good moves there as he's closing the gap in on CIK and 16. Now remember, he's got his penalty is very, very slim compared to CIK and 16, so CIK and will be dropped back into at least 4th place. Romaldo Labori again biding his time, waiting to see what's going to happen, but unfortunately he's nowhere close to this man here. ARC Dive Bomber, Sagon 16 is off in the background into the grass, and he's still managed to stay ahead of the FT1. We also saw Romano Laborio put 2 tyres off in the grass as well, but they haven't gone off track, and ARC Dive Bomb through the final corner will win the semi-final here. The first of the semi-finals is across the line to take the win, ahead of Sagon 16, followed by ARC Dive Bomb. Romano Laborio actually in 3rd place. Bratman 89 is shown as 4th. Now, that doesn't seem right. That really doesn't seem right, because Bratman 89's penalty was not that large, and Romano Laborio was not close enough, but unfortunately that's the way the game calculates it. So unfortunately for Bratman 89, he drops down to 4th place, although he's still in the final. And at the very last lap there, Silber 1, 2, 3, 4 makes it into the finals. He's in 6th position, and that drops MJK out of the final as he finishes in 7th place. What a race that was, and we have more to come. That wraps up race semi-final race 1. We'll now move on to semi-final race 2. The stewards will be looking into that. Mega Shark. Oh, I'm very interested now to see what livery you have, Ahmed. I'm very, very interested to see this now. You got me all excited. I will take a quick break here, but I will be joining the lobby, and hopefully there'll be some cars for you to watch on screen. Thank you, Rami, for clarifying. So the game rounds up the penalty, so even if you have 0.1 of a second at the finish line, it goes up to 1 second. Wow, that is very costly, because for Bratman 89, that's absolute heartache. But thank you, Rami, for clarifying. As I said, if you've got any questions, I might not be able to answer them, but believe me, there are guys in the chat that will be able to help them. The stewards are here as well if you have any questions. Ahmed JDM will show us his beautiful livery on in this semi-final, so we look forward to seeing it. As we said, I'll just take a quick break, and I'll come back for the second semi-final, but I'll keep the stream running so you can continue to see what's going on. So, apologies for that, just taking a quick drink of water, and I'm back now, and I'm ready for semi-final race number 2. And if you just joined us, welcome to the EMSO Summer Series for 2020. This is round 4 of the championship. If you want to watch round 1 and at least round 3, you can do so right now on our YouTube channel. Don't do it now, maybe do it after the race, or after these 2 races that we're going to have, because there was some very, very incredible racing in those 2 rounds, and there's some drivers unfortunately we don't have at the moment, but they will be back soon enough in those races as well. But we have much more to come now today. We have a semi-final to go, and we have the grand finale, where we already have 6 drivers qualify for that. We will have another 6 from this round go through, and let's just see how many drivers we have. We have 11, so we're just waiting for one more driver to join the field, and I can tell you we should have enough drivers. Not sure where the driver's gone though, so we just have to wait. I can't see if I can spot anybody's name that I know is missing. Let's just go back to here. No, ATCUAE is it? Oh wait, he's told us to have a look at his livery. Whoa, look at that livery, that's fantastic. It's like a Jackson Pollock picture. It's a moving work of art. That's at least added at least 120 horsepower. That's incredible. Well done, ATCUAE there. You get the seal of approval for the stickers. Fantastic looking car nonetheless. So as we said, we've got 11 drivers so far on the session. We've got 12 not quite yet. And this is one to watch here, the Hamad UAE AD, the blacked out Audi R8. When the green flag dropped, he made a position up within a matter of seconds, moving into, I think it was 6th place. Got past one of the Porsches through the first corner. As we have out in front Mohammed Zubair in his Honda NSX. We have Al-Khabaisi 90 in his Volkswagen Beetle. And it looks like whoever is the 12th driver will not be making it to the session. We will go with 11 drivers. But the good news is that we're on track for time, and we're actually, as we said, we're ahead of time. We're supposed to start at 6 o'clock. We're 10 minutes ahead of schedule. Impressive. As always, in the semi-finals we'll have 5 minutes of qualifying, and then we'll go into a 7-lap race here, and it's very difficult to choose who will be on the front row of the grid. There are some very, very competitive races in here. We could go as far and say that this man here could be on pole position in his Jackson Pollock FT1, or this man here in his BMW M6. We'll have to wait 5 minutes to find out who. This is one to watch here, the Al-Khabaisi 90 Beetle with the hashtag Black Lives Matter livery. He was the winner of... was he the winner? No, he wasn't actually. He almost won the first round, and he did put on a fantastic display just before Silver 1234 pipped him to the end. It was a fantastic battle to the end, but he is one to watch. Another driver here is Mohammed Zubair. He had a very clean race in round 3 of the quarterfinals, and he had a lonesome race, but he kept it on point, very clean, kept to himself, and he took 2nd place. So a man to watch there in the Honda Civic. Of course, there are plenty of people to watch throughout the field, and it's up to you who you think will be the one to beat. I can't exactly tell you. I think I figured out who's missing. I think it's the PDD 654 of Patrick Di Battista, who unfortunately is missing, because I didn't quite see him in the previous race. I don't see him here either. No, there he is. I tell a lie. The man is down in 10th position. Sorry, PDD fans. I do apologise. He is here. Don't get angry at me, he is here though. So, not sure who it is that's missing then from the races. So, I guess maybe we'll find out later on. But let's see. This, of course, is the second of the semi-finals. As you said, the top 6 from this race will go through into our final. We've already got one set of 6 drivers. We'll now choose another set of 6 drivers after this race has been complete. So about 2 minutes to go in the session. And while we wait for the session to tick down and find out who is where, as Aiko saying sets the time to beat for now, let's just we'll just tell you a little bit about the championship here. So this is a 6-round online exclusive championship held here in the United Arab Emirates, online on Gran Turismo Sport. The race is open to all drivers of all ages. Doesn't matter if you're a novice at the game or you're a professional sim racer. We're more than happy to have you in the races here as part of the EMSO Summer Series. There are 3 races, actually sorry, there's 2 race weekends left. The next one happens on the 21st of August 2020, with the final round taking place on the 4th of September. If you want to enter the championship and you want to enter the next 2 rounds, all you have to do is head on over to the EMSO website and register for a digital race license, and then you can get and you can fast track your way into the next round. That'll be round 5 on the 21st of August. And then the final round, if you want to participate, that will be on the 4th of September 2020, or 2020, I don't know why I said it so weirdly, but that is when it takes place. This, of course, is semi-final number 2. As we said, the top 6 from this race will go through and into the next race, which will, of course, be the final. We've already had 6 finalists that will go through, and then those the top 6 from here will go and join them in our final, which should take place at, get that the timing for you, go, excuse me, it will start at, or scheduled to start at 6:45. But I think because we're 10 minutes ahead of schedule, we should have that even earlier. I think we should be on track for at least 6:30. And it looks like we've got 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. So let's have a quick look at who's qualified where so far. PDD 654 is on the second row of the grid in 3rd place. But on the front row is Hamed UAE AD in the Audi R8. Then it's Al-Kabaisi 90. But he is on a last lap here. Can he push it to the absolute limit? And can he dethrone Hamed UAE? We're going to have to wait and see. But right now, he is sitting in 2nd place. Patrick Di Battista in the Porsche 911 RSR is in 3rd, with I'm Mohammed Zubair in 4th place. AX30ZA in the Mercedes AMG is currently in 5th position, with Zolo Vita alongside for company in the BMW M6. Then Aiko Sayegh in the Audi R8, followed by Hikers Valley. It's in 8th position at the moment. There is the Nissan GTR. Then it's Abdul Ghaffar. I think we may have had a position change there. Just a minute. Yes, we did. As C Hikers in the Nissan GTR is in 10th position. Ahmed JDM is in 11th in the Jackson Pollock FT1. Now, where is Al-Kabaisi 2? Here he is, 290, excuse me, as he crossed line in 2nd. Does he improve his lap time? Can he take the pole position away? No, the gap is 0.002. What an incredible lap. 132.780 compared to a 132.778. That's the closest margin so far, and what a time. 132.778 to a 132.780. Incredible. That's how down to the wire it is here as part of the EMSO Summer Series, and at racing here at the Kyoto Driving Park in Japan. 7 laps of racing coming away now for the second of the semi-finals. A total of 11 drivers. Unfortunately, we're missing 1. Not quite sure who it is. If I figure it out, I'll let you know. But here we go now for the final semi-final. The last 6 drivers now who win this race will go into the final of the day, scheduled to take place in just over half an hour's time as ATCUAE, we won't see him do his epic manoeuvre like he did in round 2, as he's now in control of the outer right now, down towards the first corner. Let's go mid-pack as always. Nice straight line for now. There looks like there's some shuffling going on a little bit further down the line. Who was that? That was out, was CIK and FIVA. It did look like him as this and GTR skates out a little bit wide, and the other GTR there a little bit close to the corner there as Jackson Pollock works his way around the outside. That's Ahmed JDM, and someone didn't get the best of starts here. Actually, yes they did, sorry, excuse me. That's these two here battling, the two Japanese sports cars here battling with each other. The Toyota muscling its way through and past the Red Bull of the Nissan GTR CIK 5. Let's go back up front with Al-Khamis 90, who's now out in front of Hamed UAAD. So what Hamed did to another driver in the previous round, which is Al Mahari 22, has just been now done to himself by Al-Khamis 90, and he's getting very loose as he's working his way through the chicane. Is he off? No, he isn't. 3 wide going through the corner. Hamed UAAD is losing position so rapidly as he's lost second place to AX30ZA in the Mercedes AMG GT. Is on the inside is PDD 654, and there's movers and shakers all over the place on this opening lap here of the semi-final, and Hamed UAAD is losing positions as we speak. He's already lost 3 positions on the opening lap alone, going through just the first 2 sectors. As AX30ZA, what's happened there is he had more issues with his steering. Has he lost batteries this time? Last time around is the whole unit that failed. This time I presume it might be a battery connection issue, or just a connection issue in general, because he was running in second or third place, I think he was as high up as second, and now down to 6th place. The good news is he's got it going again, and he's still now on the cut-off point just ahead of Mohammed Zubair. Back now with the race leader Al-Khamis 90, lot of free air behind him and in front as well. Clean air all around, nothing to worry about. But here's where the pressure is on. In second place, third place is Hamed UAAD. 4th place is ATCUAE in the Audi R8, under pressure from the BMW M6 of Zolovita as they run. There he is now, and he's looking on the inside, but the gap of 1.3 seconds. More action going on behind him with the NXX Cube on the inside of the Mercedes AMG GT that moves Mohammed Zubair into the top 6, and that's where he wants to be. But he's had his eyes focused, and he wants to climb up the order. Here comes Zolovita. He's trying to make a move around the Audi R8. That's not flashing lights. Tell him that for some reason that's flashing lights. I'm braking. I don't get why that's a thing, but anyway, that's something that happens to the BMW M6, I guess, through the corners, and the battle is on for 5th place, and that's sort of cutting block for 6th place. There are 4 drivers vying for those bottom 2 positions in the top 6 for 5th and 6th. We've got Zolovita, Mohammed Zubair. We've got the 7th place of AX30ZA, who's looking for a way around the outside. He gets loose on the grass into 8th place and loses ground to the Nissan GTR. Now who's that? Let's hike is Vafi. That's Vafi Khan, excuse me. A motorcycle racer here in the United Arab Emirates. Races, I can't remember what category he races, but he does race motorcycles, so different territory for Vafi here, but great to see him in action. He's currently in 7th place at the moment, and he's tailing Mohammed Zubair and watching what's going on in front of him, but he has that penalty looming over his head in the GTR, which will drop him way down the order. There's AX30ZA behind him, and all got a little bit frantic not too long ago. We had a great battle going on as Mohammed Zubair sneaks through on the inside of the BMW M6 and goes now into 5th position, just behind ATCUAE, and now he wants to put a gap between himself and the BMW M6, because now the battle is on for 6th position. Here comes Vafi Khan. He's up in a 6th place, and he's trying to take 5th away already from the Honda NSX. What's happening to Zolovita in the BMW M6? He's really struggling. There he is in 7th place, under pressure now from Brett Noble, as Brett looks to run the outside now, but that's the inside going into the chicane. Muscles his way through, but they look like clean contact there. Looks like just a racing incident, nothing to worry about there. Both still running smoothly, no damage done to Zolovita, but Zolo is tumbling down the order in the BMW M6. Drama unfolding here. What could have been a finalist run is not going to happen here at all for Zolovita, unless something drastic happens in front of him. And what a race this has been so far. We're only 3 laps into the race, and we've already had a massive shift in position from 5th through to 8th already. Incredible so far. Here is Mohammed Zubair, a little bit wide through the right-hander. Vafi Khan tucked in behind him, but he's got a penalty looming in his head. So provisionally, actually, for the time being, AX30ZA or Brett Noble is the man in 6th position, because let's see what the gap is between the two of them. He is a second behind the Nissan, and that would be, yes, that would give him 6th place. So AX doesn't have too much to worry about at the moment, but he obviously does need to be careful of Zolo Vita behind him, because he's losing time on his penalty, which is great news for the BMW M6, and he's now going to start to reel in that Mercedes AMG as much as possible, because he also will benefit from the penalty. I don't think they can see the penalty of each other on track. I think that's only information that we can see, but this would be good news for Zolo Vita after the torrid sort of opening laps here, but looking for a stronger performance here in the second half of the race. Fantastic racing here in semi-final 2. ATCUAE 90 clean. Nothing to worry about in front of him, nothing to worry behind him, but behind him is some action here. Here's PDD 654 with ATCUAE AD on the inside of him going through the corner. Great move there, great for the for ATCUAE AD to move in the second place. Stole the inside line perfectly, and thank you, Basil, for clarifying. They can see penalties looming in each other's heads, so Zolo Vita's probably looking at that and going, I need to get as close as possible so I can benefit and I can finish in 6th position. So this will be a very interesting finish. Thank you, Basil, for clearing that up, and congratulations on making your way into the final. A great last lap lunge from you, no doubt, like we saw in the first of the quarter-final races. Here's the battle for second place. Patrick Di Battista looking on the inside now, the same way the Audi did to him moments before. As not quite close enough to make a move just yet, but oh, late on the brakes there, and out, maybe drifting out too wide there. That's lost him a lot of ground, and that's put him in the clutches now of the Audi R8 from ATCUAE. So the Porsche in the Audi sandwich at the moment, and here comes ATCUAE as PDD blocks him immediately, shuts the door, makes that Porsche incredibly wide, and locks the inside line out. As he looks to have been pushing the Audi R8 off track, as the battle is on now for third place. It was not too long ago for second, and let's give ATCUAE AD a little bit of breathing room here. He's got 0.5 of a second penalty looming over his head, but he is about 1.1 seconds ahead of the two that are battling behind him. Let's quickly go back now to 6th place and see what's going on here, as AX30ZA has not been able to catch the Nissan just yet, but the good news is that he is close enough to benefit from that penalty. In 1.4 seconds is quite a margin, and there's 7 seconds in between Vafi and Brett at the moment as they run there through 6th and 7th position. What's happened? The yellow flag is out. Who's gone off? Oh, it's ATCUAE. Race leader's gone off. What happened to ATCUAE as he tumbles his way down the order? We didn't quite catch that, but he was the reason for the yellow flag. He's down now into 8th place. Maybe just got a little bit too loose there, but we also see that Patrick Di Battista has also dropped down. Now, those two weren't close enough to sort of tangle over each other, but what's happened there between ATCUAE and PDD? I guess PDD just got caught out by ATCUAE 19. I think ATCUAE was probably too hot for on the corners, and absolute carnage, but great news for ATCUAE AD. He's now race leader with 5/10 of a second penalty over his head. Best of all, no one is close to him. Someone is 2.4 seconds. ATCUAE is close to him, but nothing to worry about. PDD has gone missing. He's dropped down out of the top 6. Mohammed Zubair is now 3rd. Vafi Khan is 4th. He also benefited from what happened there on track. And AX30ZA is all over the back of him now as they work their way through Sector 2 and into towards Sector 3 timing beacon now for the penultimate time. And this is anyone games, because guess what? We're back on for this battle now for not 5th position, 6th position. This driver's going across the line there. That was PDD 654 and ATCUAE 60 being a little bit cheeky there, trying to use the runoff area. Not sure if they were braking too late, but it did look like they tried to straight line not just the chicane, but the entire 2 corners there, and just go straight through the grass, excuse me. There's no glass there on track, as here we're looking at Vafi Khan currently in 4th place. Remember, Vafi was on the cutting block about 2 laps ago, now in 4th place and ahead of AX30ZA. Zolo Vita's penalty has gone, it's absolutely dissipated. Nothing to worry about here. He's applying the pressure to AX30ZA at the moment as we speak, as we're across the line now to start lap number 7, the final lap of the race. But who is it going to be in 4th place. This is phenomenal racing here in the EMSO Summer Series Round 4. This is incredible. This is a fantastic semi-final. Who is going to be in our top 6 finalists? We can say Hamid UAE, ATCUAE and I'm Mohammed Zubair, the top 3 done and dusted. Who is going to be, though, in the 2 positions here in the bottom 6? Is it going to be Vafi Khan, Brett Noble, Zolo Vita or Prato Di Battista? We don't know. We're trying to go 3 wide through the left-hander. It's not going to work. Single file through there. The BMW M6 being bumped not wide. Now, was that some contact between it? Yes, it looks to be. The BMW M6 has been muscled off by PDD 654, and that's put the Porsche into 6th place. So he's into the top 6 now, and this is good news for Vafi because no one's close to them. He's going to drop down to 6th place, so he's still going to be in the final, but that's not the way he probably wants to do it. But still, that's the way it might happen for him. This is just incredible. A little bit of change going up for 2nd position. The NSX and the Audi R8 battling here for 2nd place, but the real battle is here in 4th place. Can AX30ZA, can Brett Noble find a way past Vafi Khan? We'll have to wait and see. He's through now, and into the final corner goes Hamid UAAD. The Audi R8 was on pole. He lost a lot of ground on the opening laps. He tumbled down the order, but a very strong performance from Hamid UAAD to come across the line and take the win. He slows down ever so slightly there to avoid the penalty. Across the line, it's going to be a drag race to cross the line for these two. Mohammed Zubair beats it by a front bumper there as ATCUAE goes across the line in 3rd. AX30ZA is 4th. PDD 654 is 5th, and 6th position, I have to say, is not Vafi Khan. It is Al-Kabaisi 90, the race leader for most of the race. Vafi, I am heartbroken. An absolutely phenomenal job there you did of keeping the drivers at bay, but that penalty, unfortunately, looming over your head, has dropped you out of contention. There's confirmation of our race winner, the Audi R8 LMS of Hamid UAAD, and that wraps up a phenomenal semi-final. We'll now move on to the grand finale here for the EMSO Summer Series Round 4. I'm going to have to take another break because I can feel I need to sit down. I need to rest here. That was an amazing semi-final there. Not for what was going on the front of the field, but was for going on for those 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. An incredible race. Hats off to all the guys that were part of that battle. Absolutely phenomenal racing, guys. So we'll keep the live stream going. We don't want to look about who's still on track. Let's exit out. Let's back out of here and let's join the final lobby of the day, where we will see 12 drivers go into the final. 6 from the semi-final, the first semi-final, 6 from the second semi-final. Let's see who it will be. I can tell you that I can tell you a few drivers that will be in it, but I'm not going to say anything just yet, just in case they can't make it and you get too excited if he's here. Let's just see who is in the final. I'll take a quick break. I will be back shortly. So hello, and if you're just joining us, welcome to the EMSO Summer Series Round 4 of the championship, of a 6-round championship. We just had one epic semi-final race to determine who will be in the top 6. An absolutely fantastic effort from all the drivers. Vafi, I'm heartbroken that you weren't in it, because that was a phenomenal job you did there of keeping the guys behind you. But unfortunately, that's how racing works, and we look forward to seeing you in round 5. But for those who just tuned in, we're about to get underway with the grand finale of the day. This is all that matters this weekend. This is where it's all to play for. This is where the maximum amount of points can be bagged, and this is where we want to dethrone one man, and one man in particular. Now, this is the man the drivers will be targeting. Romaldo Labori is championship leader. I know he had 2 back-to-back race wins in the finale in race 1, round 1, and round 2. Round 3, I don't think he won. I think it was someone else who won, but he did walk away with quite a lot of points. So he is still championship leader, and he still has a very, very large X on the back of his bumper. For this round, it will be the same. We'll have 5 minutes of qualifying. Then we will have, instead of a 7 or 5 lap race, we will have 12 laps of racing here. So 12 drivers will race for 12 laps, so that gives drivers, at least every driver, a chance behind to lead at least 1 lap. Probably that's not how it's going to work, but one can think that's how it would work, but it won't. I can tell you that now. As we look forward to starting the race, just having a look through who's actually in the session at the moment. I think there's a total of 9 drivers. Indeed there is. And this is the man to watch here, ARC Dive Bomb. He's won a race already here this weekend. Romaldo Labori's won a race. Al-Kabaisi's was almost not in the final here at all. He was leading the semi-final up until not sure what actually happened. I think he just got loose somewhere and just lost the front end of the Beetle and ended up in the gravel somewhere, and then worked his way back up into, I think, 7th position, and at the end there, due to a penalty, made his way into the top 6, which is great for him. Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. He's won a race here this weekend. He's won a race as well in the past. Maritza is consistently finishing in the top 5. And he is here in the final. Sagon 16 is a one to watch as well. Very competitive in the top 3, and is oh so close to winning a race as well, if not for a few argy-bargy moments in a few of the other races. Mohamed Zubair in the Honda NSX is one to watch out. Not sure where he's gone. He's actually gone up the order. That's why we didn't quite catch him there. This is the man that won the semi-final, the second semi-final that is. He was in pole position, lost a lot of ground in the opening laps, and then out of nowhere, climbed his way back in the order instead, grabbed the penalty, and then carnage just broke out in front of him and behind him. And even though he got the penalty, he still won the race, which was a fantastic effort there from the Audi R8 driver. It was the first Audi R8 win as well. We're now up to 10 drivers in the session, or we're up to 11. No, we're up to 10 drivers. ARC Dibon being in the pit lane at the moment. So we will get underway shortly for the final round. As we said, we are ahead of schedule actually. We were 10 minutes ahead of schedule when we started the semi-final. We are getting close to be even half an hour ahead of schedule, which would be phenomenal, as we're currently almost 2.5 hours into this live stream, non-stop action here, a massive chunk of time here, 3 hours. I think the last one was over 3 hours. That didn't even include the first race, because we had some serious connection issues from round 3. Round 1 is separated into a few videos, but all of them should be there if you want to go and re-watch any of the races. You can do so to see the great action we've had here as part of the EMSO Summer Series for 2020. So it looks like we have our 12 drivers in the session now, and it's all about them joining the lobby and basically getting out there before the qualifying session starts, and then we can start it. It looks like we don't have any things to worry about. We don't have any penalties that need to be addressed, or any maybe changes to the lineup to be addressed either. Everything seems to be clear, even in the chat on screen and the private chat as well. Nothing to make note of at the moment. Oh, yes, no, nothing at the moment at all to mention. So we will just wait for the final to start. And while we do that, why don't we just tell you what this is all about? This is purely online championship over the summer, because in the UAE it's far too hot to race outside. It gets up to 50 degrees centigrade. You can just imagine these cars with no AC how hot it would be. And this is a great way to have not just professional racers, but the community involved as well, because we accept anyone here from a novice all the way up through to professional sim racers to join the championship, and we urge everyone to do so as well. So if you're watching and you'd like to take part, all you have to do is head over to the EMSO website, which is emso.ae, and all you have to do is register for a digital license and then register for the next event, which is scheduled to take place in 2 weeks' time, and that will be round 5. It doesn't matter if you're winning or you're losing, as long as you're having fun. That's the major thing. But if you do have a competitive side, it might be a bit too late to enter, but there are some fabulous prizes on offer, and that is thanks to our partners at AUH Motorsport, the Dubai Autodrome, and of course the Yas Marina circuit, as well as the winner will get a round of karting, instructor track session, race license assessment, and a 30-minute test session in a Renault Clio Cup car, purely by doing an online race championship. An incredible prize, right? Second place, karting at Yas Marina circuit, instructor track session at Yas Marina circuit, and a Formula DXB experience at Dubai Autodrome. Even cooler, right? That's a single-seater experience you get in something that's close to a Formula 4 car. Then third place overall gets a round of karting at the Yas Marina circuit and an Abarth 595 experience at the Dubai Autodrome. Incredible stuff on offer for our top 3, but unfortunately we don't give those away this round. We give them away at round 6. So we'll formulate who is the overall champion, and the top 3, well, obviously 1, 2, 3, they'll get their prizes, and they'll get some awesome prizes courtesy of our committed partners, Yas Marina Circuit, Dubai Autodrome, and of course AUH Motorsport. The man who's currently leading the championship is this man right here, Ramaldo Labori. He's on track to gain himself some epic prizes, but there's still plenty of points on offer, and racing is racing, and digital racing is digital racing. Anything can happen, and I mean anything. We've seen it happen. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to jinx anything, but for those in the chat who know, you know what's happened in the past, and it has been devastating for some drivers. So we'll just touch some wood, we'll cross our fingers, and we'll hope that nothing goes wrong for our 12 drivers here, because I think we have all 12 in the session. Yes, we do. It was just sorting out some that may have a connection issue, and then we will be underway for the qualifying here for our grand finale. So we're just waiting on the last drivers to join before we can start the qualifying session. I can tell you that we have all the drivers in, so not sure what we're waiting for here. It was that say on the left hand side of the screen. No, someone's just left. That's okay. That is one of our That's one of the stewards or the officials that's left. Oh, we've actually got one of the stewards now joining the session, so that's probably why. I noticed that Vafi Khan is in the session as well. I think he's just watching here in real time. Actually, no, he's not. There he is in the session, so something's gone awry here. Someone has been given a penalty, and there is something to talk about. And I need to... let me see if I can find out for you what exactly has happened. Now, I'll send a message to a... Oh, there we go. We are indeed waiting for Dominic, and he had to watch some stuff for decision on a penalty. Let's see if he can give me a reason as to why the penalty was handed out, as we're now getting underway for the last race of the day. And PDD 654 did get a penalty, and I presume that's for punting off the M6, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, I'll get told off immediately. But it looks like I'm not seeing any typing messages. There's no angry... Oh, wait, here we go. It was collision with the BMW M60. We just got a glimpse of that in the background. Thank you, Dominic, for confirming that, because that's what I had a hunch it was. So let's see if that is... sorry, that is the case. Sorry, what am I saying? Let's see. Let's see what happens in 4 minutes' time when we have a grid sorted out for the epic grand finale that we're going to have. That's what we're going to wait and see for. As let's just have a look at who's on track. So, ATCUAE is here. He managed to make his way to the top 6, as did Sagon 16. Ramal Labori is here, as is Vafi Khan. Great to see him after that fantastic effort he had in the in his semi-final. He deserves this place here, and I'm not going to lie. Ramal Labori is here, championship leader. Maritza is here as well. Alexander Standibas behind the wheel of the Beetle. AX30ZA is here. Luckily, he hasn't had any problems so far with disconnecting controllers or wheels. Hamid UAE AD, winner from semi-final number 2, is here, and he's going to put on a great show, no doubt. Al-Kabaisi 90, a heart and mouth moment for him, was leading the race, out of nowhere dropped down to 8th place, somehow managed to get back into 6th place, so well done to this man right here. I am Mohammed Zubair is here in his Honda NSX. Silver1234 is here as well, a winner earlier this afternoon. ARC Diebomb, another winner in his FT1, and last but not least is Bratman89 in now a new liveried Toyota FT1. He's taken the Gazoo Racing livery off, and he's applied this very interesting car. It looks like he's hit a grape, and he's hit more than one grape. He's hit a purple grape on the right-hand side of his car, and he's hit a green grape on the left-hand side of his car. But you know what? The livery looks remarkable. 10 out of 10 for Bratman89 for his livery, because that looks absolutely gorgeous. So we have 3 minutes left on the clock for those to set a fast lap time. We haven't got a time lapse yet, so we'll wait and see what the first times are when they come across the line. Let's just tidy up the screen a little bit there. It's nice to have the telemetry, but it's a little bit messy at the same time. So confirmation from the semi-final. So Al-Kabaisi was put into P5, Vafi Khan was put into P6, but unfortunately there was not a large enough penalty to put Zolo Vita into 6th place, into the top 6. But he did finish in 7th. But hopefully we'll see Zolo Vita back up now. Unfortunately, that's how racing goes. You can't do it. Even with online racing, we can't control what happens. Like I said, I'm not going to say we've had different dramas in the past that have caused massive amounts of issues, but we're not going to say them just in case they happen. Let's think of the positive side that we have everyone in the same session. We haven't had any connection issues whatsoever, especially on my side. I had tons of connection issues last time. This time round, nothing. Bliss. Pure bliss, and some amazing racing here as part of the EMSO Summer Series for 2020. This is round 4, and this is your final. Ramal Labori so far is the fastest man out there at the moment with a 1:32.479. That is incredibly fast, and he's actually not the fastest any longer, because this Toyota FT1 here of ARC Diebomb is the fastest man out there, and he's done a... let's have a look. Let's press the key there. It's 1:32.469, and it's literally thousandths of a second faster than Ramal Labori. The audio rate of ATCUAE is third. At the moment, in fourth place, ATCUAE in his lovely little Beetle there with the hashtag Black Lives Matter. I am Mohammed Zubair in his Honda NSX scare, but it's skittish there through the chicane, is fifth. AX30ZA and the only Mercedes AMG GT out there is in sixth position. Sagan 16 in his Porsche 911. He's the highest placed Porsche at the moment. I actually have a feeling he's actually the only Porsche in the race as well, currently sitting in seventh place. Hamid UAE AD is 8th in his Audi R8. Here's Vafi Khan, excuse me. He's running in 9th place in the Nissan GTR and was a late addition, but an addition nonetheless. Then it's Maritza in the second of the Beetles, followed by Stillborn 234 in the third of the Beetles, with Bratman89 in his new liveried Toyota FT1 rounding out the field of 12 drivers for this finale. And what can Bratman89 do? How about we hop on board with him now as he's working his way through the final corner. Let's see what time he can do, because he's already been on pole once this weekend. Can he do it again? Here he goes. He's through the final corner. This will be his penultimate lap. He hasn't got enough time actually to do another lap at all, so this is it for him. He has to set a fast lap time here. What can he do as he's across the line? It's good for 8th place, so 1:33.325 by the looks of it, but it's not enough here to beat this man here. ARC Dive Bomb is your qualifying leader and is on pole position, provisioning at the moment, because we might get something pop-ups sooner or later. Let's just wait and see when the session is over. But ARC Dive Bomb is the man to beat now. He's on the front row of the grid with Romaldo Labori alongside for company. So we have the championship leader on the outside, or actually better, sorry, excuse me, he's actually on the inside of ARC Dive Bomb, but we'll probably get a single file going through the first corner. Then we have ATCUAE in the Beetle. He's messing up that all the top 3 JDM lineup is in 4th place. Is another European car, not the Honda NSX. My apologies for that there. As Aiko Sega, the Audi is 4th. Then it's still 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Beetle on row number 3 with AX. Sagan, excuse me. And what's happened there? We've had a brief change quickly because the Porsche has rocketed its way up the order with a 1:32.970 with just a few seconds left to go on the clock. We're about to get underway now for the final of the day, the 6th and final race of round 4, and this is what matters. This is the race that counts. Forget the rest of it. This is the race that counts. This is where you get maximum points. This is where you need to be the strongest. Here we go. The final is about to get underway. You see now the starting order. As you see there on the screen, there is the Romaldo Labori FT1 just in the background there. You can see the Porsche of Sagan 16 just at the brow of the corner, and on the right hand side there was the Beetle of ATCUAE. Now he's on the right hand side because he was on the left hand before then. There is our top 4. You can just see them, and we have to go all the way back now through the corner to find Vafi Khan there in 12th place. It is all to play for here. 12 laps of racing is about to get underway. 5 heat races of finals have come down to 1 grand final as we green flag racing here for the last time this weekend of part of the EMSO Summer Series 2020. ARC Dive Bomb gets a great start and is through the first corner nice and clean. Looks like everyone is single file through. Is there anyone battling their way through just yet? Doesn't look like it as we filter our way through the field. Everyone looks nice and clean, although there is a battle going on for 12th position. It looks like Maritza does not get the best start at all in the Beetle. Not sure what happened there, but he's currently battling with Vafi Khan, the UAE NGK Pro Car Championship driver, battling out with the UAE National Sports Bike Championship rider. Great to see two of the best in the business battling out here on track here in the EMSO's online summer series. Great to see a real-life racer transitioning away and participating in the championship. Always great to see. Maritza is through on the inside. They lean on each other through the chicane, and Vafi's not going to be happy with that, as a little bit loose there for Maritza as he's working his way through the chicane. Let's go back up to the front. It's only changed position almost as Romaldo Labori tries to find Wender on the outside, but ARC Dive Bomb has the inside line covered and keeps it together, keeps that FT1 stuck like glue to the inside of the corner and doesn't let the sister car there through, as Romaldo Labori there using a bit too much of the grass there, losing a little bit of ground now, putting a gap of what looks to be about a car length between the two of them. It is 0.2 of a second separating ARC Dive Bomb and Romaldo Labori. Then in the Beetle, it's ATCUAE 90 who is watching and biding his time here, because he wants these two Toyotas to trip over each other so he can sneak up on the inside and take maximum points here before the end of the race. Here we go, let's have a look at what fourth place has to offer. ATCUAE is battling with Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. The two European cars there battling, the two Volkswagen cars essentially battling out there with each other. Obviously the Audi has a bigger engine, it's running the V10, whereas the Beetle is running just an inline 4-cylinder engine as it races its way through, but you can see that inline 4 is not impeding the car whatsoever. That power plant is a power plant indeed. Oh, loose there through. ATCUAE goes through the corner. Summer Series, more like Drift Series going on there with ATCUAE, and the battle is on here for fourth place. What's it like up front as Romaldo Labori found a way through? Not yet. ARC Dive Bomb continues to lead in the FT1, followed by Romaldo Labori's FT1 here. Then it's ATCUAE 90's Volkswagen Beetle, followed by ATCUAE, who's managed to shake Sigon 16 ever so slightly in the Porsche, because Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 is gone. He's no longer there. There is Mohammed Zubair in 6th position in the Honda NSX. Oh, drifting a little bit out wide. They're a little bit loose there on the rear end, getting a bit tail happy for the NSX. Then it's AX30ZA in the Mercedes AMG. Hamid UAE AD in 8th place, already climbing his way up the order. Great to see. Maritza also climbing his way up the order. And there is Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. So the Beetle getting a little bit too hot there through on the corners and tumbling his way down the order. Then it's Vafi Khan in the Nissan, currently running in 11th place, the only GTR in the field, followed by the beautiful liveried Bratman 89, who unfortunately seems to be suffering. That's Silver Carbali. That's a good question. The stewards will probably look into it. What you're saying here, yep, the stewards will definitely be looking into that. If you're saying that being pushed off or being clattered into, the stewards are very eagle-eyed here. There's nothing at all that escapes them. I'll tell you that right now, as ARC Dive Bomb continues to lead here in his Toyota FT1, just ahead of Romaldo Labori. In second place, as we said, there is championship leader ATCUAE 90 in third. A little bit of a gap between himself there. He's about 1 second from Romaldo Labori and 3.4 seconds up the road from this man here, the Audi R8, who's been managed to shake the Silver 1, 2, 3, 4 car of the Beetle. Then behind him is the battle for 5th place between Sigon 16, and AX30ZA, with Brett Noble behind the wheel of that Mercedes AMG GT. As they're into the left-hander now, that's the hairpin now going through now, and across the time beacon into sector 3. The Mercedes is now reeling in the Porsche, looking for a way on the inside, brakes as late as possible. No, tucks in behind the Porsche. Can AX make his way through? Not quite yet. He's going to race his way now into the left-hander. He's got a brake up, but it's a right-hander, so AX in the wrong place, a little bit skittish there. Late on the brakes as possible through the final corner. No, yes, it is the final corner, excuse me. That is the battle for 5th place. It's a battle brewing further down the field for 8th place at the moment here between the Audi R8 and the Beetle. So more Audi on Beetle action here, with Hamid UAE AD leading that sort of duo at the moment, with Maritza. They're going a little bit wide through the first corner. Then it's quite a battle here going on as well between Vafi Khan and Silver 1, 2, 3, 4, with the Beetle pushing the Nissan out of the corner exit there. And it does look like, does the game show damage? No, it doesn't look like it shows damage. I think damage is just it's not physical damage or anything like that. It's just not even paint damage, actually, come to think of it. As the Beetle looks on the inside, takes the position away. That was a nice clean move there for Silver 1, 2, 3, 4. He saw the opportunity, he took it immediately away from Vafi Khan, as we didn't quite catch that, but Romaldo Labori now leads from ARC Dive Bomb. Not quite sure what happened there, and ARC Dive Bomb has dropped quite far back as well, as he's dropped in the clutches of the Beetle of ATCUAE 90. Has ARC Dive Bomb now, can ATCUAE benefit and move up into second place this time round? ATCUAE still far back here, not under pressure yet, but now the battle is on for second place, and a little bit of too much grass being used there for ARC Dive Bomb, as ATCUAE is going to look around the outside. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Great move there from the Beetle. ATCUAE there sneaks up on the inside. Now, can he catch Romaldo Labori? Ooh, it's going to be a tough ask. It's 1.7 seconds, but he is now free of the clutches of ARC Divebomb, and he's already put about 3 car lengths between himself and the Toyota. As we continue on here, fast approaching the halfway point. We've finished 4 laps already. Back on to lap number 5 now with ATCUAE 90. You know what, why don't we ride on board with the FT1 of ARC Divebomb. Let's see what the view is up front. There you can see is ATCUAE 90. You can still see about a corner ahead of him is race leader Radha Labori, who's just picked up a penalty. And what's he picked the penalty up for? It's showing 0.5 of a second. Let's go back into the race view cameras here, and he's got 0.5 of a second now penalty looming over his head, and that's probably flashed up on screen as well for ATCUAE and ARC Divebomb, who are now, I can say this officially, they are catching up. They are catching up quite rapidly as well. They brought the gap down to 0.5 of a second, but through the final part of Sector 2 and Sector 3, Romaldo is quicker than these two, but that gap is coming down. It's now down to 0.8 of a second as they work their way across the timing line for Sector 3. Now what can ATCUAE do? Can he take away a race victory here from championship leader? Can he dash the hopes of Radha Labori? We'll have to wait and see, because we still have 7 laps to go here at in Japan for round 4 of the EMSO Summer Series. Don't know why the flag guy's got the checkered flag ready already. Should really have a yellow flag if it's going to be prepared for anything, but I guess that's how GT Sport works, doesn't it? It's throws it to the inside goes Radha Labori, a much tidier line than what we've seen previously from the FT1, and here comes the Beetle. It's charging its way through. The gap now is down to 0.3 of a second, and it's gaining between himself and the Toyota FT1 of ARC Divebomb. Here comes the Bug. The Bug is on a mission here. There's ATCUAE 90 as well behind the wheel as he's very tight through the corner there. Much tighter line compared to the FT1. And how about we ride on board with the Beetle? Here we go. We're looking pretty much at what ATCUAE can see really close to the gap there, going down the hill and through the chicane. Again, a much tighter line compared to Radha Labori, using as much of the curb as he can, is the race leader. As we're working our way now through and into Sector 3, into the left-hander here, and you can see how well the Beetle is under braking there, really closes the door on him. It's 0.5 of a second between the two of them, and there's a 0.1 of a second penalty between for Radha Labori, excuse me, and the Beetle really needs to catch up now. Into the left-hander there, squirrely for the FT1 of Romaldo. As now they're into the right-hander here, into the far corner now for the 5th time. Here it comes. Is this the move? Is it going to work? No, not quite. ATCUAE not close enough to make a move, but very, very neat and tidy racing here, following every single line to a T is Radha Labori. Thanks for telling me I'm friends with that person now, and someone is liking my activity. Yes, thank you. You're in the way. Go away, PlayStation. I don't want to see that right now. I want to see how many laps we have left, because we have 7 laps, and it's on now. The battle for the lead of the race is on between the two. We'll stay on board with the Beetle. They're leaning on each other. They're battling with each other. A little bit of a touch there to the rear, but here is Radha Labori. He's still there. Oh, into the wall goes the Beetle. Let's now quickly jump outside. Let's see how this works through the corner there, but you did see contact between the two. They've kept it somewhat relatively clean. They've kept them both on track, but that was definite contact between the two of them. Oh, you could see that clearly on screen with the front bumper of ATCUAE and Radha Labori. But ARC Divebomb, he's loving what's going on in front of him. He wants these two to trip over each other as much as possible. Again, as always, fantastic racing here from the EMSO Summer Series 2020. Round 4 officially will be ending in 6 laps time, and I don't want it to be. This has been a phenomenal series of races. Absolutely incredible. Through and through every single race. Here we go. Once again, ATCUAE closing the gap on Radha Labori through the 3rd and final sector now. Into the final corner. It's a long right hand. Actually, it's not as long as, say, the left-hander that's coming up later on, but it is quite long. It's significant. It's not exactly a hairpin. The hairpin is much earlier on in the lap. As here we go now across the line to complete lap number 7. We're going on lap number 8. Romano Labori goes to the inside. Can Al-Khabaisi work his way around the outside? Not quite. He's going to brake as late as possible. Throws it into the corner. Very tight for both of these drivers here as they work their way through and into the first couple of corners here. Romano Labori is onto the grass. They lean on each other once again. Oh, almost pushes it into the wall. Now that's very close contact here for the two of them. The stewards are going to be watching this like a hawk as they work their way through the couple of corners there. That looked like Romano Labori was leaning a little bit too much on Al-Khabaisi and could have put him into the wall. As here comes ARC Dive-Bomb. He's loving what's going on here. He's absolutely enjoying himself. He's probably laughing in the pit in his car right now, going, look at these two, they're tripping over each other. I'm going to win this race. As he now slightly backs off, but he's not backing off enough because he wants to still win this if he can with 5 laps to go. Here we go now through sector 2, through the chicane, up the hill again goes Al-Khabaisi 90. Watch how he closes up on Romano Labori as we're working our way now into the left-hand hairpin. This is one of the tightest corners around the track, one of the slowest corners as well here in Japan. As we continue now into sector 3 for the 8th time. Labori continues to lead over Al-Khabaisi and ARC Dive-Bomb. Let's have a quick look at what's going on, but I don't want to watch as Romano Labori is offline and he goes off track. Let's quickly have a look because I think there's a battle brewing down here. Yes, indeed there is, for 6th place between AX30ZA in the Mercedes from the NSX, and just behind them is the Audi R8 of Hamid UAE. Fantastic battles all around. That, of course, is the battle for 6th position. A little bit further back, there is another battle brewing. It looks like it's for 10th place. Yes, it is. Between Vafi Khan, who's got a 4.3 second penalty loom over his head from Silver 1234. And that's a very, very battered and bruised Nissan GTR. I can still tell you that race leader is Romano Labori from Al-Khabaisi from ARC Dive-Bomb. Those are your top 3 for now. Let's watch what these two do during or going through the first corner here, excuse me. Through and into the left hand they go. Silver 1234 not close enough to make a move. Let's quickly flash back to the race leader. We just came in time here because Al-Khabaisi is all over the back of Romano Labori like a cheap suit. He's all over the back of him. Sniffs an opportunity here. Can he dive to the inside? No, he shouldn't do it here because this is a chicane. And this is where Romano puts a few tyres over the line here. Fantastic stuff there. The FT1, they're drifting a little bit out wide. Let's keep it with Al-Khabaisi 90 here. He's going to try and sneak on the inside. Can he do it? No, he can't. He's going to try around the outside now. That's not the preferred line. He's now stuck out there. He's going to have to try again soon. Can he get the cut back? Dives to the inside, breaks as late as possible, doesn't quite get the move stuck, but here comes ARC Dive-Bomb, and here comes Aiko Sega, excuse me, as well. He's benefiting as well. He's really in these top 3 in as well, as now what was a duo is now a trio battle for the lead of the race, and we still have 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go even at the line when it comes to it, but still 2 laps of incredible racing here. A trio of cars battling for the race here, going too wide. It's a drag race across the line. The Toyota on the outside, the Beetle on the inside, battling for 3rd place. At the line it was Al-Khabaisi in 2nd, but it's ARC Dive-Bomb as they dive their way into the first corner. Al-Khabaisi though has the preferred line, sticks to it and goes back into 2nd place. What a race this is. Shall we jump on board, not with Aiko Sega, excuse me, let's jump on board with ARC Dive-Bomb, and that's the view that he sees in front of him. There to the left of him is Al-Khabaisi. On the right hand side of the screen is Romano Labori, as tucking him in front of him is Al-Khabaisi 90, shutting the door on ARC Dive-Bomb to ensure he doesn't make a move. But look at the FT1 really closes in on the bug there. Oh, it's on the exit, great exit there from ARC Dive-Bomb, but the Beetle is extremely wide. He's going to try around the outside. This is not where he wants to be. Oh, 2 fingers on the grass, not quite yet. Oh, they clatter into each other. Now that was definite contact between the two of them, and ARC Dive-Bomb is the one to not benefit at all as Aiko Zay goes into 3rd place. That was definite contact, and again I have a feeling the stewards will be looking at that as well, because oh, that didn't look like a racing incident, to be honest. It looks like you could definitely see the driver was there, but I have my doubts. Let's wait and see. I'm not going to call anything up. It's the steward's decision, not mine. I'm just merely an observer here. I'm just watching the fantastic action we have on track here. Romano Labori continues to lead from Al-Khabaisi. Now Aiko Sega is now into the top 3. He was in fourth not too long ago, but he's now in fourth place. IRC Dive Bomb, unfortunately, down in fifth place. I think his podium finishing position is out of question at the moment, as we now start the penultimate lap between Romaldo Labori and ATCUAE 90. The pressure is on. ATCUAE has been applying it every single corner for the past 10 laps. I don't think there's been a single corner where ATCUAE has flaked. He's been almost in the wall 3 times and he's still there. The competitiveness of these two drivers is incredible. Look how they're racing here with just a car length between the two of them. The FT1 Toyota continues to lead from the Group 3 Volkswagen Beetle as they work their way through the long left-hander here, one of the longest corners here on the track here in Japan. Like I was saying, they're just in the back, about a corner behind them as they race away down the hill now through the chicane. Now this is where ATCUAE excels, as he straight lines the chicane and he's all over the back of the FT1 as they work their way through the chicane. Oh, a little bit on the grass there. That's cost the Bug some time. As now they work their way now to one of the slowest corners of the track. This is the hairpin. This is where, and ATCUAE has a 2.5 second penalty on his head. Sorry, 2 second penalty on his head. Now I wonder if that's for the contact and pushing ARC Dive Bomb into the wall. I wonder if that is, because that took some time to be applied. Now, I don't know if 2 seconds is justifiable. I think it should be a little bit more than that, but a penalty is still a penalty, and it's been applied, and it's deserved. Oh, and it looks like he's tapped Romaldo Labori into a spin. Almost Romaldo Labori does a fantastic job to save it, and is pushed now into second place. I think, ATCUAE might be getting a little bit reckless here and might not be thinking of the repercussions that he can. He sniffs a win, but that win might be taken away from him. Here comes Romaldo Labori on the outside, but here comes on the inside the Bug once again. They barge into each other going through the first corner. This, of course, is the final lap of the race. It is down to these two drivers. I know we focused on these guys a lot, but this is where the action has taken place throughout the race. These two drivers. There are battles going on further down the field. For example, just here in 6th position, we have a battle going for the Mercedes and the Honda. These two have been scrapping pretty much since the green flag dropped. That's the Mercedes going around the outside of Mohammed Zubair. And Mohammed looking to take the inside line. Can he take it away from him? No, he can't. And then if we look further back, there's a battle brewing up here for 10th and 11th, but Vafikan has that immense penalty. Let's quickly go back to the race leader. It is still ATCUAE that leads, but Romaldo Labori is second, and here comes ICO Gone 16 is in the mix as well, as we work our way now through the final couple of corners into the hairpin for the final time here. ATCUAE, unfortunately, I can tell you now, will not be winning this race. It will go the way of Romaldo Labori. If ATCUAE can do something about it, though, it will go the way of ATCUAE. We have to wait and see here. ATCUAE can sniff a win. We will have to be, yeah, Rami, 100% I agree with you here as he's through the final corner now. And unfortunately, we'd like to celebrate ATCUAE taking the win, but it won't be. It will be Romaldo Labori who gets the win due to the penalty. But let's wait for the stewards to see what they have to say as across the line. And ATCUAE cuts straight across Romaldo Labori at the line. Now that didn't look very nice there from ATCUAE. That doesn't look very sportsmanlike at all. That looked like he just cut straight across the nose there. And there's confirmation. Romaldo Labori is indeed the race winner due to the penalty. ATCUAE second, Sagon 16 third, ATCUAE fourth, ARC Dive Bomb fifth, I am Mohammed Zubair sixth, AX30ZA 7th, Maritza is 8th, and there's confirmation for the rest of the field, and there's confirmation for the penalty as well. And like Rami said before, 2 second penalty applied there. It rounded up. What a race that was. That was unbelievable throughout. I know we didn't get to see a lot of what happened at the end of the field, but we couldn't strafe away from what happened there at the beginning. Indeed, I have a feeling the stewards will be looking into this. I would like to say that is the provision. Those are the results for now, but those are provisional, and that can change. But what a race! You have to admit that was an incredible race here in round 4, and we can only expect something better. Every time we do this, it gets better and better. The racing gets more and more competitive, like it was today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we shall see you in 2 weeks' time. Remember, next round is on the 21st of August 2020. The final round is on the 4th of September. I've been Christopher Wilbon. and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Remember to follow us on social to stay up to date, and if you're interested in taking part, head on over to emso.ae and apply for your digital race license. As always, a huge shout out to AUH Motorsport, Yas Marina Circuit, or Yas Marina event, and of course the Dubai Autodrome for supporting us throughout. Thank you so much. Thank you to the drivers, thank you to the stewards, thank you viewers as well. You've been amazing. Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend.